Good evening to everyone present here. We, the BT Society of Rajalakshmi Engineering College, are excited to host today's event. Let's have a glimpse of today's session. Today, we are happy to have our beloved seniors who will be sharing enriching experiences and future academic pursuits. From research labs to global campuses, their journeys are sure to inspire each of us. Whether you're wondering what comes next or aiming for your dream university, this session is your gateway to real experiences and priceless advice. We are truly honored to have with us three incredible seniors, Ms. Sharanya Ramesh, Ms. Afranaz Aftab, and Ms. Avantika Satyanarayanan, whose journey are nothing short of inspiring. Before we begin, a kind note to all attendees. Please feel free to make note of any doubts or questions you may have during this session. We'll have a dedicated Q&A segment at the end where our seniors will be happy to clarify and guide you. To begin this exciting session, we are delighted to welcome Ms. Sharanya Ramesh. With a stellar academic record and diverse hands-on experience, from molecular diagnostics to international workshops, she is all set to pursue her master's in molecular medicine at Trinity College Dublin. Notably, she was part of the Summer School 2023 program at the Technical University of Munich, popularly known as TUM Asia, where she presented a project on hematopoiesis and blood cancer. A passionate researcher and an inspiring leader, Sharanya truly exemplifies academic excellence and global ambition. Let's all put our hands together and welcome Ms. Sharanya Ramesh.
Hello everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So hi guys. I am Charanya Ramesh. Thank you for the amazing introduction. Can someone tell me if my screen is visible? Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So there's this typical question that comes to our mind usually around second or third year, asking, do I pursue hires or do I go for placements? So it's a question that's either running in our mind at 2 a.m. or it's something that our parents keep asking us, or it's something that you talk during lunch breaks, I'm hoping. This is a question that had been running in my mind ever since I was a first year student. So studying or taking up your master's is not a very easy deal. It's not a glorified way to, prolong your a way to not work. So you need to get the mindset right if you want to actually go into your master's or if you want to go into placements. So my topic is all going to be about studying abroad, because typically this is going to answer a lot of questions. Let's start. So the contents are basically these questions. So let's go in a very schematic manner. First one, you first decide if you want to go to hires or whether you want to go the placement route. Okay, so once you've answered that question and you come to the answer of hires, you ask yourself, are you going to continue your hires here or is it going to be abroad? After that, when you decide it's going to be abroad, you classify which country you want to study in. And for that, you'll have to consider a lot of factors. And after that, you will decide, okay, now that the country is fixed, I'm going to look at all the universities that are in that country, which is the best, which is a good option. And then you will factor in which courses is the best where, and all of that comes into play. And once you've also finalized on your universities that you're going to be applying to, then comes the application process, which is going to be the key step. So let's ask the first question. Is pursuing hires the right route for you? Okay. So there's a lot of people that think ipo hires ponondra madre irundaduna, it's going to be something about either it's peer pressure or it's familial pressure, or sometimes the question of academic excellence comes into mind. So if na hires pursue pannada, am I really excelling character? Do I have to pursue a master's to excel in life? Abdina madri a lot of people will think. But there's actually two different ways you can go about this. You can directly go get work experience. You can go via industry and then you can take up the masters if you want to. Or like me personally, why I took the hires route now is because there is a term called academic burnout. Okay, so when you actually put so much effort into doing something for a very long time, you start getting tired of it. Okay, so to not go into this burnout phase, especially when you're a researcher, you'll want to take different things, like, you know, start biting off different places from the same pizza. So essentially this is an idea as to why you take up the hires. So hires of figuring out what you want in life. So hires ponona, you guys have to really make up your mind as to நீங்க hires தான் போணுமா, இல்ல எனக்கு வேலை போக வேணான்றதுனால நான் hires எடுக்க போறேனா அப்படின்ற question you'll have to think about. The second one, do you want to gain more knowledge or just don't want to work? So hires in repo, it's typically 2 years worth of content, right? So it's nearly 100 and 120 credits crammed into 2 years. So that's a lot of knowledge, and it's a lot of specific knowledge. So unless you actually have the passion for it, you're going to be wasting a lot of time and money if hires is not the right route for you. So if you just don't want to work right now, you'll maybe want to take a gap year and then figure out what you want in life. So on the gap year, maybe you can study for preparation exams. So maybe it can be GRE, it can be GATE, it can be anything. So on the 1 year நீங்க டைம் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு you can figure out that எனக்கு hires போணுமா இல்ல நான் வேலைக்கு போட்டமா அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. Obviously your on campus placements will be over by the time you take a gap year, but you'll always have off campus options also. So this is purely for those who are actually having that burnout stage. Okay, and the last question, முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு தவிர்க்க பார்க்கலாம் gap year அப்படின்றது. But if it is absolutely necessary, it's nothing wrong, it's nothing ashamed, it's nothing to be ashamed about. So gap year எடுத்துக்கணும்னு இருந்தா, use the time very wisely. Take up an internship about like 6 months, because there are amazing companies like Biocon. There's also companies like Biozine that provide intensive internships and courses where you can take that up, gain hands-on experience. And if you are deciding you want to go into hires after that 1 year period, you have research experience in your hand. So on the 6 மாசம் நீங்க உழைச்சதுக்கு you have something to add to your resume. இல்ல அந்த 6 மாசம் நீங்க work பண்ணி workே புடிச்சு போச்சுனா, you'll have the answer as to you can go into placements அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. So now you've answered the question of நீங்க hires pursue பண்ண போறீங்களா இல்லையா அப்படின்றது. So now that we've decided hires அப்படின்ற அந்த question, where? Okay, so இந்தியால pursue பண்ண போறீங்களா இல்ல abroadல pursue பண்ண போறீங்களா அப்படின்ற question வரும். So right now I'm going to be the devil. So Avantika will be taking the session about if you're pursuing hires in India. I'm going to be talking about why I did not pursue my hires in India. So the reasons I decided as to why I did not want to pursue my master's in India is that there is quite limited exposure. So what I mean by limited exposure is I decided to pursue something called molecular medicine. So it's something that's very niche. Okay, the field, as in the degree, is niche, but the applications of the degree is something that's very widespread. It's something that's in demand in India. So இந்த இதுதான் படிக்கணும்னு எனக்கு ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா, do I go to a place which offers extensive knowledge on that? அங்க இருக்கிற இடம், அங்க இருக்கிற ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் நல்லா இருந்தது அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்ததுன்னா, obviously I'm going to be choosing that place. So limited exposure in India leads to very few places where I can actually consider from. And is that on par with other universities across the globe? It wasn't no. So the second question, fierce competition. So now that you have decided higher educa poringa, you will finalize on your course, blah blah blah, and you will actually come to looking at the course in various universities, and then you'll realize that in the Madri GATE exams, you'll have to write up competitive exams where the bar is literally the finger cap. Okay, so you'll be one among lakhs and millions of applicants throughout the country with various research experiences. They'll have different profiles, they'll have different exposures. For example, a person might even be from another country. This is something that we quite we notice in places like IIT and IISc. You even have international applicants coming to India. So obviously there's going to be a huge gap in your academics and your profile wise. So there's going to be fierce competition. The third point is cost versus value. இப்போ நான் ஹையர்ஸ்க்கு அப்ராட் போனா நான் இவ்வளவு காசு கொடுக்க போறேன் அப்படின்றது உங்க மண்டல ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்தே இருக்கும். ஓகே, ஸோ வென் யூஆர் ப்ரொவைடிங் தட் அமௌண்ட் இஸ் த டிகிரி ரியலி ஒர்த் இட் அப்படின்ற கொஸ்டின் வரும். ஸோ இன் இந்தியா யூ மைட் your fee might be lesser compared to the fee that you put in for an education that's internationally acclaimed. But at the same time, your value of the degree, obviously, India la vandittu enna solvanga companies la inda ivan velinatla irundhu padichittu vandirukan, so obviously he's going to have more exposure, he's going to have more value. So there's obviously going to be a more larger preference for the international candidates. And those who have come from Indian backgrounds need to have an exemplary background, right? So it's going to make things more difficult for you. I'm not saying that it's not something that's possible. It's something that's going to be very hard to achieve. That's all. The fourth and fifth point, the rigid system and slow industry integration. So rigid system, as in most universities have the option where you can choose your courses. You can tailor the course according to your needs. So you're going to have a bunch of different modules where you can select from, and you can make that, you can fit that according to your requirements. If you have master's poitu na adukapra research tha poga porena, I can select a bunch of research modules instead of the theoretical modules, something that would take me more towards the industry instead. So in the madri selection procedures ella, it's a bit rigid in India, and the curriculum wise it's a bit old. So for a niche and upcoming field like biotechnology, with different fields where everything is becoming integrated with technology, such as you could have AI being integrated into healthcare, you could have genomic medicine, you can have precision medicine. All of this requires a very advanced curriculum, which is something that India is lagging a little bit in. Okay, so I'm not going to say it's completely lagging, but the number of places where you can actually approach universities to, pursue this from is quite less. And as I mentioned earlier, the competition is also high. So that makes your chances of getting in quite a bit low. Okay. The sixth one is also, as I mentioned earlier, the slow industry integration. So some universities, most universities abroad, they already have this thing called industry and academia integration, where as you are studying your degree, you can even work or intern with them at that same time. Okay, you can do both parallelly. India is a bit slow to this, and that is why I think that pursuing the degree abroad has its own pros, which are sometimes quite more than pursuing your master's in India. But having said that, you'll have a lot of factors to consider when you're deciding this. Okay, so the factors to consider while deciding the country. So first question, hires or masters, and hires and masters over placements அப்படினு டிசைட் பண்ணதுல hires choose பண்றோம். Second one, இந்தியாவா அப்ராடா அப்படினு choose பண்றதுல நான் abroad choose பண்ணேன். Let's talk about pursuing your hires in India later on. So now for the sake of conversation, let's decide that everyone's going abroad, right? So the factors that you're going to consider while choosing the country. So நம்ம எடுத்த உடனே you will have three specific countries in mind. Okay, anyone will have these three specific countries in mind. Number one, US. Number two, UK. And number three, Australia. Okay, these three are renowned for the education quality they have, but they also have their pros and cons. Meanwhile, there are also other options, various different options across Europe. You even have programs that are really good in South Africa. But those are basically marine biotechnology programs. Those who are interested into marine biotechnology and environmental engineering can probably go for South Africa. There are also different sort of programs all over the world. For example, environmental conservation, definitely go towards South American countries. So let's talk about the factors while we'll consider. Number one, financial feasibility. So this is the first question that நம்ம வீட்லயே கேட்பாங்க. ஹையர்ஸ்க்கு அனுப்ப போறேன், என்னால இவ்வளவுதான் கொடுக்க முடியும். Okay, so that factor is a quintessential factor that you'll have to consider. Okay, Financial feasibility in வந்துச்சுன்னா, you're not just talking about the amount you're going to spend only on the course. Okay. கோர்ஸுக்கு வந்துட்டு 20 லட்சம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். ஓகே, 2 வருஷத்துக்கு 20 லட்சம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிக்கலாம். ஓகே, so 2 years 20 lakhs is a good deal. But factor in your living expenses. Living expenses for 1 year அப்படின்றது தான் it's going to be living expenses per annum அப்படின்ற மாதிரி தான் நீங்க ஜெனரலாவே சர்ச் பண்றப்போ வரும். Living expenses, you're going to have miscellaneous expenses where you will have to put in money to take up internships. You will have to take money for buying books. You'll have to take up money for transport. There's so many other factors. You'll have to buy grocery, house bill, ellame irukum. Okay, so once you're living alone, all of those factors also you'll have to consider it. Apart from this, masters முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் போஸ்ட் ஸ்டடி விசா அப்படின்றது ஒண்ணு இருக்கும். ஓகே, அந்த போஸ்ட் ஸ்டடி விசாக்கு வந்துட்டு இஃப் தேர்ஸ் 2 years போஸ்ட் ஸ்டடினா அந்த 2 வருஷத்துக்கும் நீங்க வந்து ஃபைனான்சஸ் ரெடியா வச்சுக்கணும். ஸோ கண்ட்ரில அந்த எஜுகேஷன் மாத்திரம் 20 லட்சம் அப்படின்றத பார்த்துட்டு ஓஹோ இங்க படிக்கலாமே அப்படின்னு யோசிச்சிடாதீங்க. ஓகே, think about all the factors that come when you're talking finances. Okay, you'll have to consider every factor. For example, US la 2 years வந்துட்டு if you're taking up a masters na say an approx range of 40 lakhs for 2 years. Okay, that's like 20 lakhs on average. But at the same time, உங்களோட living expenses and miscellaneous expenses will shoot through the roof. Okay, this is similar for Australia and UK as well. So there are other countries that offer much more financially stable options. For example, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, these are all very economically viable options. The second one, quality of education. So quality of education அப்படின்னு பேசுறப்போ some countries are renowned for specific things. Okay, இப்போ நம்ம யூஎஸ்ல சொன்னோன்னே நம்ம மண்டா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி சாஃப்ட்வேர் இன்ஜினியரிங், சிலிகான் வேலி அப்படின்னு தான் போகும். ஓகே, ஸோ அதே மாதிரி யூ ஹாவ் டு do a little bit of research on your own. Go through a lot of websites, go through specific university or websites. And the country, you can just ask ChatGPT, what is America famous for right now? What is the up and coming sector in America right now? அப்படின்னு போட்டு பாத்தீங்கன்னா டாப் 10ல நீங்க படிக்கிற நீங்க பர்சியூ பண்ண போற கோர்ஸ் வந்துச்சுன்னா it means that is a good marker that the country will improve for your course. Okay, that is a very stable answer for you. So it gives you a bit of a safety net that நான் அங்க போயிட்டு படிச்சது it won't go to waste அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. This is for those people who want to continue working there for maybe 2 years, 3 years, or even continue living their life there. நான் உடனே மாஸ்டர்ஸ் முடிச்சுட்டு நான் திருப்பி இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து தான் வேலை பண்ண போறேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா you'll only have to consider the factor that is that university really good for that. Okay, third one is again for the people who are settling there, demand of the specific sector. இப்போ நான் கஷ்டப்பட்டு இந்த டிகிரியை போயிட்டு நான் ஹார்வர்ட்லயே படிச்சு முடிக்கிறேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். நான் ஹார்வர்ட்ல படிச்சு முடிக்கிறேன், நான் அப்போ யூஎஸ்ல தான் வேலை பார்க்கணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா யூஎஸ்ல நீங்க படிக்கிற டிகிரிக்கு அந்த பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் டைம்ல டிமாண்ட் இருக்கான்னு பாருங்க. நான் கஷ்டப்பட்டு அங்க போயிட்டு நான் திருப்பி பார்மசியூட்டிக்கல் இன்ஜினியரிங் படிக்கிறேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். People will obviously they'll give you recognition for being a Harvard alumni, but அந்த டைம்ல உங்களுக்கு பார்மசியூட்டிக்கல் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியில வேலையே இல்ல. இப்போ now that Trump has made a little bit of changes to the economy there, அங்க வேலையே இல்லைன்னா நீங்க ஹார்வர்ட்ல போய் படிச்சதுக்கும் there will be a waste. Okay, நீங்க இங்க இருந்து யூஎஸ் போயிட்டு அங்கேயே தான் செட்டில் ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு நினைச்சீங்கன்னா it will be a waste because you'll be a Harvard alumni, but you'll have to transfer to another country where pharma is in demand. Okay, the fourth one is post-study constraints. So this is specifically related to the visa. For example, US you have a post-study work allowance of 90 days. That is not a very long time to get a job. Unless you are absolutely brilliant, no one can get a job in 90 days. Obviously, you're going to be an international student there. அங்க உங்களுக்கு ப்ரெஃபரன்ஸ் கொடுப்பாங்களா இல்ல மற்ற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு அவங்களோட ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கே ப்ரெஃபரன்ஸ் கொடுப்பாங்களான்னு பார்த்தா ஆப்வியஸ்லி தேர் கண்ட்ரி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு தான். So அந்த 90 days-குள்ள நீங்க வேலை கண்டுபிடிக்கணும்ன்றது will be a very hard piece of work. It's not going to be a cakewalk. But there are also other countries that offer 2 years post-study visa. For example, my degree, the one I'm pursuing from Ireland, offers me a 2-year post-study visa. So அந்த 2 years-குள்ள எனக்கு வேலை கிடைச்சிருமா அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா it's definitely a higher chance than just being crammed into 90 days like in US. Okay. The next point is safety. So definitely consider this point. Take it very seriously. Not just personal safety. I'm also talking about the safety of the economy also about the safety of the country. Okay. Some countries are naturally safe. Okay. It might be safe for the environment is safe, but the country as such is not safe. Let's take the example of Netherlands. Okay. Netherlands is a very safe country on its own, but right now with the state of every other country surrounding it, it is also very open to terrorist threats. Okay. That makes it not so safe to study. It's not that it's not very safe to study, but definitely your parents will have that question. You know, உங்களை கஷ்டப்பட்டு இவ்வளவு நாள் படிக்க வச்சுட்டு they're sending you abroadன்றப்போ and you're living your life there, you're going to be safe there. Okay. அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, நெக்ஸ்ட் டே மார்னிங் நியூஸ்ல வந்து ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு சின்ன நியூஸ், அது ரூமரா கூட இருக்கலாம், ஆர் இட் மைட் ஈவன் பி a very small information. அந்த பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் டைம்ல அவங்க இந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் பார்த்துட்டு they'll start getting panicked. Okay, that's not something you want for your parents la. So definitely consider the point of safety. Number 2 is also personal safety. So on the country, specifically for the girls out there, on the country, is it safe for you all to travel around? Is it safe for you all? இப்போ நான் மார்னிங் கோர்ஸ் முடிச்சுட்டு ஈவினிங் பார்ட் டைம் போறேன்னா, நான் ஜாப் போயிட்டு நான் 10 மணிக்கே வந்தாலும் எனக்கு அது சேஃபா இருக்குமா? சேஃபா இருந்தா எந்த அளவுக்கு சேஃப் அப்படின்றது go through the safety index of the last 10 years. Okay, you'll see the trend. Okay, உங்களுக்கு racial discrimination இருக்கா? How safe is it for women? Is there a lot of எப்படி சொல்ற பப்ளிக் நியூசன்ஸ் ஆக்டிவிட்டிஸ், எங்க இங்க இடம், எந்தெந்த இடம் இந்த கண்ட்ரி, நீங்க கண்ட்ரி ஃபைனலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா யூ வில் ஃபைனலைஸ் a city where you're going. அந்த சிட்டில எந்தெந்த சேஃப் ஸ்பாட்ஸ் இருக்கு, which is the safest cities, இந்த சிட்டில இங்க போக முடியுமா அப்படின்றதெல்லாம் you'll have to analyze before you're deciding that. Next one, life beyond academics and college. This is an important question. Okay, இப்போ again, let's say I'm choosing a country like Sweden. Okay, now Sweden choose பண்ணிட்டு once I am going there now, it's going to be a country that's very beautiful. Okay, Sweden's a country that's extremely beautiful. It's very naturesque. It's very scenic, everything. But at the same time, if you're a person who also wants to get out, have a life now, it's probably not the option for you. Okay, maybe you'll have to consider a place like UK. You'll have to consider a place like Scotland, Australia, all of this. Okay, you'll also have to consider the life that happens outside college, but with reference to your academics. அங்க இருக்கிற கம்பெனிஸ் எப்படி, நாங்க இப்போ பார்ட் டைம் எடுக்கணும்னா எனக்கு அந்த மாதிரி ஜாப்ஸ் எல்லாம் நிறைய கிடைக்குமா? am I going to be easily able to find a part-time job is an important question you'll have to ask. Okay, for that I'd suggest you get on platforms like Reddit, Facebook, all of this. Use it properly. Okay, there's a lot of platforms out there. Use it properly and it will give you all the resources you want. Talk to alumni. Nama college lene there are so many people who are in every other place. You can connect with them, you can talk with them. The last point is accessibility, job market and industrial outreach. So accessibility inradhu நம்ம இங்க இருந்து அந்த கண்ட்ரிக்கு போறது எவ்வளவு ஈஸி. Okay, so if there's any emergency now, how long will it take for you to commute back? உங்களால ஈஸியா போயிட்டு வர முடியுமா, இல்ல அந்த கண்ட்ரிக்கு ஃபிளைட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு இன்னைக்கோ நாளைக்கோ அப்படின்ற மாதிரி தான் இருக்கா அப்படின்றத கன்சிடர் பண்ணணும். ஜாப் மார்க்கெட் அண்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியல் அவுட்ரீச் இஸ் சம்திங் தட்ஸ் வெரி ஸ்பெசிபிக் டு தி யூனிவர்சிட்டி. இப்போ நான் செலக்ட் பண்ணிருக்க யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கு வந்துட்டு ஆர் தே ஹேவிங் குட் டை அப்ஸ் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி யூ வில் ஹேவ் டு கன்சிடர். தட் இஸ் ஒன்லி அவைலபிள் ஆன் தி யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ் வெப் பேஜ். ஓகே, ஸோ ஒன்ஸ் யூ டிசைட் தி யூனிவர்சிட்டி யூ வில் ஹேவ் டு கோ இன்டு தி வெப் பேஜ், டூ a lot of analysis. அந்த கண்ட்ரிக்கு என்னென்ன பெரிய கம்பெனிஸ் இருக்குன்னு பாருங்க, அந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கு அந்த கம்பெனிஸோட டை அப் இருக்கான்னு பாருங்க. This will take you to a lot of jobs. It will also help you with networking. Next one, key points in deciding a course. So country select பண்ணியாச்சு. இப்போ கோர்ஸ்க்கு வரணும்னா, number 1, specialization. I would suggest to not specialize into an extremely niche field. Okay, இப்போ நான் எடுத்த உடனே வந்துட்டு நான் பிடெக் பயோடெக்னாலஜி பண்ணிட்டு நான் உடனே பயோஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் தான் படிக்க போறேன். That's just some course that came to my mind. நான் பயோஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் தான் படிக்க போறேன் அப்படின்னா மாதிரி போனீங்கன்னா இட்ஸ் அ வெரி நீஷ் ஃபீல்ட். ஓகே, பயோஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ்ல இட்ஸ் an up and coming ஃபீல்டுன்றதுனால you're not going to have a lot of jobs. Okay, at that point of time, அந்த பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் டைம்ல உங்களுக்கு வேலை கம்மியா இருக்கு அப்படின்றதுனால நீங்க அந்த டிகிரி படிச்சுட்டு சரி எனக்கு இப்போதைக்கு வேலை இல்லை அப்புறமா வரும் அப்படின்ற நம்பிக்கையில நான் வேற ஏதாவது ஒரு ஃபீல்டு போய் வேலை பார்க்கலாம்னு நினைச்சாலும் you're not going to have the qualification for that. Okay, so biostatistics will have a specific set of modules. அந்த மாடியூல்ஸ்ல இருக்கிறது மாத்திரம் தான் உங்களால அதுக்கப்புறம் போய் வேலை பார்க்க முடியும். பிகாஸ் வேலை கொடுக்குறவனுக்கும் அவங்களோட குவாலிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் அப்படின்ட்டு ஒண்ணு இருக்கும்ல, ரிக்வயர்மெண்ட்ஸ் அப்படின்ட்டு. So unless you meet that, they're not going to be able to actually give you that job 100%. So I would suggest to not go for a very niche field. Go for something that's a little broad spectrum. You don't have to go again into MS or MTech biotechnology. You can go for something little niche, not something that's extremely specialized, so that it closes off your job opportunities. Okay. Requirements for the course. Ipo, there was this one specific university that I applied to. It's Leiden University, if anyone's wondering. It's one in Netherlands. They had this requirement where I applied for MS Biomedical Sciences. They had requirements for subjects like anatomy, physiology, pathology. You have to mark yes or no. So while I did get admitted to the university because of my hands-on experiences and internships and everything, they asked me to go for a pre-master's program. So that will also cost you financially. You'll have to study one course before going into your master's itself. That is another 6 months plus your master's. Okay. So on the course requirements உங்களுக்கு இருக்கா அப்படின்றது முதல்ல பார்த்துட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் கோர்ஸ்க்கு அப்ளை பண்ணுங்க. நான் பண்ண முதல் தப்பு அது. நீங்க அதை பண்ணிடக்கூடாது அப்படின்றதுக்காக நான் இப்ப சொல்றேன். The next one is interest in the subject. Subject புடிச்சு போங்க. தயவு செஞ்சு சொல்றேன், சப்ஜெக்ட் புடிச்சு போங்க. Okay, just because the subject sounds amazing and just because it is something that your parents suggest for you or someone suggests for you அப்படின்றதுக்காக எடுக்காதீங்க. உங்களுக்கு அந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் புடிச்சிருக்கா அப்படின்றத யோசிச்சுட்டு எடுங்க. Because doing a master's abroad is not an easy task. You'll have to be extremely independent on your own. You'll have to work, you'll have to cook, everything you'll have to do on your own. Side by side, you'll also have to study. Okay, inga irukra madri night na 3 மணி வரைக்கும் படிக்கிறேன், அம்மா டீ போட்டு தருவாங்க, சாப்பாடு செஞ்சு தருவாங்கன்றதுலாம் கிடையவே கிடையாது. நீ தான் உனக்கு சமைச்சுக்கணும், நீ தான் டீ போட்டு சாப்பிடணும், எல்லாத்தையுமே நீ தான் பண்ணணும். And you'll have to study an extremely demanding subject. Okay, so if you don't like that, you will suffer. So take time to process which subjects you like, which courses you like, and choose a course that has all these subjects. Prospect in the market. Again, that comes with specialization. And the கோர்ஸுக்கு இப்போதைக்கு டிமாண்ட் இல்லைன்னா தயவு செஞ்சு அந்த வேலையை எடுக்காதீங்க. சும்மாவே நம்ம ஃபீல்ட்ஸ்ல வேலை ரொம்பவே கம்மி. And that too, even if you want to come back to India and work now, it's going to be very niche. Okay, so unless there's a lot of demand there, do not go into fields that have கம்மி demands. கண்டிப்பா இன்னும் 2 வருஷத்துல வளர்ந்துரும், இன்னும் 3 வருஷத்துல வளர்ந்துரும். வளர்றப்போ நான் அந்த ஃபீல்டு போய் வேலை பாக்குறேன் அப்படின்றதுக்கு இப்போதைக்கு பண்ணாதீங்க. அதனாலதான் ப்ராட் ஸ்பெக்ட்ரமா எடுங்க. அப்போ உங்களுக்கு தேவைப்படுறப்போ யூ கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் டூ another மாஸ்டர்ஸ். ஓகே, மாஸ்டர்ஸ்க்கு உங்களுக்கு வயசுக்கு பஞ்சமே கிடையாது. மாஸ்டர்ஸ், PhD, போஸ்ட் டாக், எனிதிங் யூ வில் நாட் ஹேவ் பஞ்சம். ஓகே, யூ கேன் டூ தட் லேட்டர் ஆன். பட் இப்போவே அதை எடுத்துட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் வேற ஸ்டெப்ஸ்லாம் கோட்டை விட்டுறாதீங்க. ஓகே, 5. Scope back in India. This is if you're planning to return back. India la the subject ku scope irukanu paarenga. Ipo jobs like pharma, regulatory affairs, vaccine production idella vandittu India la in demand la irukku. Okay, but if you're talking about fields like molecular medicine like mine, or if you're talking about immunology or epidemiology, in the mari fields are very niche in India. They are very 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 hard to like actually find stable jobs in. You need to be like PhD level, you need to have experience. Adu seniority wise dhaan kudupanga. India is a bit lagging in this, but experience and seniority ku dhaan preference kudupanga endradnala if you are planning to come back to India to work now, keep this in mind. 6th one, is it a course required for research or is it a course for the industry? So there are some courses like நீங்க ரிசர்ச்க்கு தான் போகணும், நான் வந்துட்டு மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணிட்டு PhD பண்ணிட்டு அப்படியே ரிசர்ச்க்கு போறேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா அந்த ஸ்பெசிபிக் கோர்ஸ் இருங்க. Me personally, I took molecular medicine because I want to go to research. Okay, so my course is more research driven. But courses like bioprocess technology, courses like biological engineering, materials engineering, these are all industry demands. Okay, நான் முடிச்ச உடனே நான் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு தான் போறேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா take up courses like that. But முடிச்சுட்டு I want to little bit grow my roots into another place and then I want to go into the industry now, take some course that will lead you to research. You can work 1 year as a research assistant, you'll gain research experience. எப்படி பழகணும், எந்தெந்த இடத்துல எப்படி equipments யூஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு போனீங்கன்னா obviously you'll be in demand there. Okay, next one, this is the most important one, acing the application process. So understanding deadlines. இப்போ October 1 எனக்கு வந்துட்டு திறக்குது அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா எனக்கு October 1, 2025 ஓப்பன் ஆகும். ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் ஃபார் த yellow tags. October, usually most universities open in October. Okay, some open in September depending on the country. Okay, some open in September, most open in October. By that time அது ஓப்பன் ஆகுறப்போவே போடுங்க. ஓகே, டோன்ட் சே எனக்கு டெட்லைன் தான் எனக்கு January 2026 வரைக்கும் இருக்கேன், நான் டிசம்பர்ல போட்டுக்கிறேன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா my course is a course that has only 20 places. Okay, 20 பேர் அதுக்குள்ள அவன் ஈஸியா செலக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு போட்டு போயிடுவான். உனக்கு இடம் இல்லமா அப்படின்ட்டு நீ என்னதான் குவாலிஃபைடா இருந்தாலும் உன்னை விட கம்மியா குவாலிஃபிகேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கிறவங்க at that point of time just because they applied early they will get the seat and they will move on. Okay, நீங்க எவ்வளவுதான் குவாலிஃபைடா இருந்தாலும் you might miss out on the university of your dreams just because you were a bit lazy. So do not do that. Understand the deadlines, start working way ahead of it. Me personally, my deadlines were in October 2024. I wrote my GRE exams, I wrote my IELTS way ahead. I wrote them in August. I had my mark sheets right before I applied. I had all my LOR sorted. I had my SOP sorted way back in May and June. So as I had my deadlines coming up, I had them done in June and July. May I finished it. I finished my drafting process. I had them completed and done, all set of documents ready, and I had them ready just to press that button when the deadlines open. Second point, listing of colleges as A, May, or just right. A na, it's a college that's like your dream college, maybe elite. Say, think about Ivy Leagues. Okay, கிடைச்சா செம மாஸ், ஆனா கிடைக்கிறது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி keep 2 options. May ஐம் இது வந்தா இது என்னோட சேஃப்டி நெட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. ஓகே, இட்ஸ் a university that will give you the experience that you require. நீங்க மாஸ்டர்ஸ் போறீங்கனாலும் இங்க பண்ண வர்த்த இல்லன்ட்டு இல்ல, பட் இட்ஸ் ஜஸ்ட் சேஃப்டி நெட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருக்கிற ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் இஸ் கால்ட் a May option and have 2 of them. Okay, just right is the university where you are very happy studying. எனக்கு ஐவி லீக் இல்லனாலும் நான் இந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டியில படிச்சா எனக்கு நல்ல ஒரு பேர் வரும், I'm going to get jobs better அப்படின்ற மாதிரி first tier universities இருக்குல்ல, they are the just right options. I want you to have 3 of these. So totally you're going to have 2 A's, 2 Mays and 3 just rights. That gives you 7 options. Everyone apply to 7 universities just as a backup. Okay, if you're international applicants, apply to 7 universities. Application fee obviously konjam irukum dhan, but you don't want to be left behind without a safety option. Okay, do not have a safety blanket. Okay, அப்படியே எனக்கு A option கிடைச்சிரும் அப்படின்ற நம்பிக்கையில போயிடாதீங்க. And also don't settle for less. Okay, so have 7 universities in your mind. Figuring out finances, this is like I mentioned earlier, ஃபைனான்சஸ் எல்லாமே யோசிச்சு வச்சுக்கோங்க. கண்ட்ரியோட லிவிங் எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் இவ்வளோ, எனக்கு வந்துட்டு யூகேல வந்து இந்த ஜிபிபி வந்துட்டு ஒரு நாளுக்கு 100 ரூபாய் இருக்கு, அடுத்த நாள் 101 ரூபாய் போகுது, அதுக்கு அடுத்த வாரம் பார்த்தா இங்கே 110 உட்காந்துருக்குன்னா யோசிச்சுக்கோங்க. அங்க போயிட்டு எனக்கு ஒரு பால் பாக்கெட் வாங்குறதுக்கு எனக்கு 300 ரூபாய் ஆகுதுன்னா யோசிச்சுக்கோங்க. வாழ்க்கையை தயவு செஞ்சு யோசிச்சுக்கோங்க. ஃபைனான்சஸ் do not put your parents in a position where they'll have to say no to you, because that will also affect you, it will also affect them. So choose right, figure out the country right, do a lot of research. You guys have plenty of time. Fourth one, crafting out LORs and SOPs well ahead of time. This is something I've been enunciating from the first moment. உங்களுக்கு அக்டோபர் டெட்லைன்னா ஜூன் ஜூலைல எல்லாத்தையும் முடிச்சு வச்சிருங்க. ஓகே, எக்ஸாம்ஸ் வந்துடும் ஆகஸ்ட்ல வச்சுக்கோங்க. எக்ஸாம்ஸ் ஆகஸ்ட் செப்டம்பர், உங்களோட செமஸ்டர் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் கேட் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் பொறுத்து வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஆகஸ்ட் செப்டம்பர்ல வச்சுக்கோங்க. தயவு செஞ்சு LOR SOP எல்லாம் ஜூலைக்குள்ள முடிச்சு வச்சிருங்க. ஓகே, cracking entrance exams. Okay, this is something which is very specific to the countries. So US la vandu GRE sila universities kekum, most universities don't require it now, but my CGPA wasn't very well off. Okay, my CGPA is a very mid-range CGPA. It's a comfortable enough CGPA, but I'm not an exemplary student. What I did for that, I wrote entrance exams. I got very good marks in my entrance exams. For example, in my GRE, I got a 320 in my GRE. So என்னோட சிஜிபிஏ வந்துட்டு அவ்வளோ இதுவா இல்லைனாலும் they were confident enough because ஒரு general testல something that is a standard optimized test for all students to decide their caliber, அந்த testல if I scored well, it means that personal endல தான் maybe தவற விட்டுருக்காங்களோ, but the student is really smart அப்படின்ட்டு they might give you a fair fighting chance at least. So don't risk out on this. Okay, உங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு ஒரு சேஃப்டி நெட் வேணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா GRE எடுங்க. GATE is another exam you'll want to take. Okay, that is if you are going for India. There are plenty of exams like this. IELTS, TOEFL, தயவு செஞ்சு ஒழுங்கா ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுங்க. Okay, some countries will only have a requirement of 6 or 6.5 overall. ஆனால் நீங்க அந்த இடத்துல 6.5 எடுத்துட்டு கடைசியில ஒரே ஒரு பேண்ட் கோட்டை விட்டுச்சுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. There are going to be 4 bands in IELTS. ஒரே ஒரு பேண்ட்ல மட்டும் நான் 6 வச்சிட்டேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா your application will get denied. Okay, don't do that. The last one is applying the day or the same week that the application is open. This is something I said. என்னைக்கு ஓப்பன் ஆகுதோ அன்னைக்கே போட்டுருங்க. தட் கிவ்ஸ் யூ பெட்டர் ஃபைட்டிங் சான்ஸ். ஓகே, உங்களோட அப்ளிகேஷன் நல்ல அவ்வளோ ஓஹோன்னு இல்லைனாலும் ஓரளவுக்கு இருக்குப்பா அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா அன்னைக்கே போட்டுருங்க. ஓகே, பிகாஸ் த மோர் லேட்டர் யூஆர் கோயிங் ஆன், த மோர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஆர் கோன் அப்ளை. ஓகே, அதுக்குள்ள உங்களை விட நல்லா இருக்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸும் அப்ளை பண்ணிடுவாங்க. ஸோ அந்த பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் டைம்ல நான் இவ்வளவுதான் சீட் இருக்கு, இவ்வளவுதான் எடுக்க முடியும்னா அவங்க அதுக்குள்ள இன்டர்வியூ எடுத்து முடிச்சிருப்பாங்க, செலக்டும் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. Once the offer letters go out, there's no way they can take it back. You just be put on wait list despite your application being good. இதுக்குதான் சொல்றேன், அப்ளிகேஷன் ஓப்பன் ஆகிற அன்னைக்கே போடுங்க. ஓகே, அப்ளிகேஷன் உட்காந்து நான் அன்னைக்கு தான் பண்ணுவேன், நான் அன்னைக்கு தான் உட்காந்து அதுக்கு எஸ்ஓபியே எழுத இருப்பேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி பண்ணீங்கன்னா யூ மிஸ் அவுட் ஆன் சோ மெனி ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ். Please trust me on this. How can I afford it? Okay, there are 3 ways you're going to afford your finances. Number 1, AIDS. Scholarship. யூனிவர்சிட்டி சைட்ல போட்டிருக்க எல்லாத்துக்குமே அப்ளை பண்ணுங்க. ஓகே, as long as you're eligible for it, apply to everything. You never know when luck strikes. You never know when others might not apply. உங்க ராசி கிடைச்சிருக்கும். ஓகே, apply to scholarships. There are government based scholarships, there are university based scholarships, there are also scholarships that are in ties with government and university. Okay, apply to all of these. உங்களுக்கு எலிஜிபிலிட்டி இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் no one saying no to you. So 10 ஸ்காலர்ஷிப் இருக்குன்னா 10க்கும் போடுங்க. ஓகே, உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்குது கிடைக்கல அப்படின்றது செகண்டரி. ஓகே, if you've made up your mind to go to that university, regardless of whether you get the scholarship or not, apply to all of them. Okay, ஆனா நீங்க ஸ்காலர்ஷிப் வச்சுதான் அந்த கண்ட்ரியே போவேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி முடிவு பண்ணீங்கன்னா that's maybe not a good option to rely on. Okay, ஸ்காலர்ஷிப் அந்த வருஷம்னு பார்த்து உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்காம போய் கிடைச்ச நல்ல யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கும் உங்களோட ஃபால் பேக் ஆப்ஷனே இல்லாம நீ அதுதான் வச்சிருக்கேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்துச்சுன்னா you'll have to take a gap year, or you'll have to wait for the next semesters to start, which is usually the summer term. 6 months waste. Okay, don't do that. Second one is education loan. Okay, education loans right now it will sound good. Okay, ஆனா விசாக்கு கொடுக்கறப்போ எஜுகேஷன் லோன் தவிர நீங்க ஒரு ஸ்பெசிபிக் அமௌண்ட் காட்டணும். ஓகே, I'll tell you with specificity to Ireland. எஜுகேஷன் லோன் வந்துட்டு நீங்க 60% மாத்திரம் தான் காட்ட முடியும். The remaining 40% of the amount has to be liquid funds. So எனக்கு மொத்தமா எனக்கு வந்துட்டு ஒரு 50 lakhs தேவைப்படுதுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. அதுல நான் 30 lakhs வந்துட்டு நான் எஜுகேஷன் லோன் எடுக்கிறனாலும் பாக்கி 20 lakhs need to be liquid funds that is either in my parents account or in my name. ஓகே, இந்த ஃபைனான்சஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னா மாத்திரம் தான் உங்களுக்கு விசா கொடுப்பாங்க. ஓகே, கஷ்டப்பட்டு நீங்க யூனிவர்சிட்டி கொடுத்து அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு டெபாசிட் எல்லாம் பே பண்ணி ஃபீ எல்லாம் பே பண்ணி கடைசியில உங்களுக்கு லிக்விட் ஃபண்ட்ஸ் இல்லைன்ட்டு உங்க விசா டினை ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், உங்களுக்கு ஃபால் பேக் ஆப்ஷன் எல்லாம் போயிடும். அகைன் யூல் பி இன் தி சைட். ஓகே, ஸோ யூனிவர்சிட்டி அப்ளை பண்ண உடனே உங்களுக்கு ஓரளவுக்கு கான்ஃபிடன்ஸ் வந்துருச்சுன்னா நான் இந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டி தான் போறேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி கான்ஃபிடென்ட் ஆயிட்டீங்கன்னா go to the country's visa and immigration page, check out the requirements for the visa. This is something you'll have to be very clear about. Okay, abroad போறீங்கன்னா it comes with a lot of challenges. Okay, அந்த challenges எல்லாத்தையும் நீங்க tackle பண்ணனா you need to do more research than you've probably done research in the 4 years of your college life. Okay, 4 வருஷம் நீங்க என்ன படிச்சீங்களோ அந்த 4 வருஷ விஷயத்தையும் நீங்க ஒரே மாசத்துல நீங்க பண்ணிருவீங்கன்னு உங்க பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கும் ப்ரூவ் பண்ணணும். You'll also have to be able to prove that to yourself. Okay, there'll be a lot of points when you doubt yourself. Okay, நான் இது பண்ணிடுவேனா, அப்ராட் போயிட்டு தனியா பழச்சிருவேனா, can I actually do this because the degree is going to be very, very tough அப்படின்ற மாதிரி எல்லாம் questions வரும்னா only a passion, if it overtakes those doubts, you'll be able to have a successful career. Okay. Third one, the finances doesn't refer to the cost of the program. So that's what I mentioned earlier. Living expenses, miscellaneous expenses, உங்களோட travel இது எல்லாமே நீங்க அதுல போட்டு அந்த ஓவரால் அமௌண்ட் தான் நீங்க கன்சிடர் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, எனக்கு வந்து டிகிரிக்கு வந்துட்டு எனக்கு 20 லட்சம் தான் ஆகுது, ஆனா மாசத்துக்கு எனக்கு செலவு 2 லட்சம் வருது அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்ததுன்னா அப்படி இப்படின்னு பார்த்து உங்களுக்கு 1 கோடி ஆயிடும். ஓகே, keep that in mind when you are thinking about this. Last 2 things I want to talk about is resume and SOP. Okay, resume. It's called resume building for a reason. It requires a very strong foundation. Okay, resume building அப்படின்றது what I mean is, first ஒரு internship பண்ணிருப்பீங்க. ஓகே, அடுத்த செமஸ்டர் நான் ஒண்ணு பண்ணிக்கிறேன், அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒண்ணு பண்ணிக்கிறேன் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு பிரேக்கும் அப்படி இப்படின்னு சேர்த்து வச்சு 4 இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் தான் பண்ணிருப்பீங்க. ஓகே, பட் there will be people from other universities who would have finished 20 internships. It doesn't matter how long. 20 பண்ணி வச்சிருப்பாங்க. நான் ஆன்லைன் பண்ணேன், நடுவுல வந்துட்டு I had 2 months break, so I separated it as 15-15, another 15-15. So it gives them 4 internships in a period of 2 months. அந்த மாதிரி சில பேர் பண்ணுவாங்க. Okay, so what you'll have to be doing is layering on workshop presentation, internship, workshop, presentation, internship, research project, panni, you're gonna wanna have a resume that's about 3 to 4 pages big. Okay. எவ்வளவுக்குள்ள நீங்க பண்றீங்களோ அவ்வளவுக்குள்ள ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்கும். Okay. So even if your CGPA is not good enough, it might not be good enough. Okay. Minimum CGPA requirement வந்துட்டு 8 இருக்கலாம். Okay, for that university. ஆனா உங்களுக்கு justல நீங்க cross பண்ணிருப்பீங்க 8.1 or 8.2. But if you're having an impressive resume that is maybe like 6-7 internships, you're having 4 to 5 papers, you're having 3 research projects now, obviously they're going to prefer you, because who wants a candidate who only has academic knowledge? Okay, so just because உங்க CGPA கம்மியா இருக்கு, நான் ரெஸ்யூமேவும் சுமாராவே வச்சுக்கிறேன், எப்படினாலும் எனக்கு கிடைக்க போறது இல்லை, சுமாரா தான் நான் போறேன்னா, it's not going to work out. You're going to want to have to build a very strong resume. Okay, CGPA ல வராததை நீங்க இங்க compensate பண்ணணும். Okay, next one, every application requires a different resume. Okay, ஒரு காலேஜ்க்கோ இல்ல ஒரு கண்ட்ரிக்கோ they have their own specific key lines. Okay, for example, Ireland is very focused on healthcare. Okay, US is very focused on pharmaceuticals. Okay, உங்களோட ரெஸ்யூமேல நான் வந்து just because I have like 10 internships, என்னால அந்த இடத்துல எல்லா பத்தியும் போட முடியாது. Okay, அந்த கோர்ஸுக்கு எது ரிலேட்டபிளா இருக்கோ, for example, there might be a workshop that I attended on pharmacovigilance. I'm going to put that. There'll be one that I attended on say something that's not related to it, say something like genomics. It might not be very relevant to that. Okay, so you'll want to remove that out of your resume. என்னமா கேட்க ஒரு மாதிரி தான் இருக்கும், ஆனா you want something that's very relatable, that shows that you've put in effort into crafting that resume, that shows that you are the perfect candidate for it. Okay, so ஒரு applicationக்கு ஒரு resume பண்ணுங்க, அதே மாதிரி ஒரு applicationக்கு ஒரு SOP பண்ணுங்க. I come to that next. The next one, take your time to build it. Okay, not a small resume but a big resume. Okay, ஒரு சின்ன ரெஸ்யூமேனா 2 இன்டர்ன்ஷிப், ஒரே ஒரு ரிசர்ச் ப்ராஜெக்ட், அந்த ரிசர்ச் ப்ராஜெக்ட் நான் ஃபைனல் இயர்ல தான் பண்ணுவேன்னா நோ, பிக் நோ. ஓகே, எல்லாத்தையுமே ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்தே பண்ணுங்க. People who are in your second year, you have so much time. You just need to get out of your comfort zone right now. Okay, if you want an extremely good higher education, you're going to have to move out of your comfort zone and you have to take steps to make that happen. Okay, so that's the next point. Second year students, you have a lot of time. Final year students, you might not have a lot of time, but you don't have a lot of time. You might not, you don't have a lot of time, but you can take time into making your resume what you want to make it look like. Okay, presentation matters. இப்போ ரெலவெண்டா இருக்கிற சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் கம்மியா இருந்தாலும் ரெலவெண்டா இருக்கிறது போடுங்க. நான் சம்மந்தமே இல்லாம வந்துட்டு நான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் செமஸ்டர்ல பண்ண பர்சனாலிட்டி டெவலப்மெண்ட் எடுத்துட்டு வந்து இங்க போடுவேன், எனக்கு கண்டென்ட் இல்லைன்றதுனால இருந்தா ஆப்வியஸா உங்க ரெஸ்யூமே ஓவர்லுக் பண்ணிட்டு போயிட்டே தான் இருப்பாங்க. I'm not saying don't put that in extra curriculars. Okay, இருக்கிறதே இவ்வளவுதான் அப்படின்னு கொண்டு போயிட்டு நீங்க அதையும் அங்க போட்டீங்கன்னா they will definitely skip past your resume. Okay, they don't want that. They look for keywords. Most universities have this filtering out thing on your resume where they look for keywords. Okay, they'll set a few options. உங்களோட ரெஸ்யூமேல or SOP ல அந்த வார்த்தை இருந்துச்சுனா தான் it will clear that background itself. Okay, so make it more relatable to the course that you're applying to. Last point, big wins come from big sacrifices. So this is something I'm going to talk about from personal experience. So I as was mentioned in my introduction, it was mentioned that I did a lot of internships. Okay, that came from a lot of sacrifices that I had to make on my end. I'm not saying don't live life. Okay, but at the same time, the resume I have now is only formed because enoda semester vacations, there was this one semester vacation I remember where I did 3 internships. Okay, on the matter of time I had to do 3 internships, and the only way I could do that was if I had to reduce my social background or social life a little bit. Okay, so on the point of time I had to cut short on going out with friends. I did not have much of a vacation time. I went on a vacation for 3 days. Okay, and then I came back. It was back to back to back. It was June 15th or internship. June 16th was my joining date in another place. So you're going to have to make big sacrifices. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of time. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of sleep. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of expenses. Okay, so முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு வெளில போக வேணாம்னு சொல்லல நானு, but you're also gonna have to sacrifice all of this to just move past your comfort zone. The more you start doing this, it gives you more of a safety net to fall back on. So as I said, a strong resume doesn't happen in just 2 semesters. So இப்ப நான் third yearல இருக்கேன், ரெண்டு லீவ் கிடைச்சிரும், அந்த 2 லீவ்ல வந்துட்டு நான் ஒரு இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் பண்ணேன்னா 2 இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் அப்படின்னு சொல்லாத. ஆனா 2 செமஸ்டர் லீவ்ஸ், எனக்கு 2 மாசம் இருக்கு, 2 மாசத்துல 10 டே இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் ஒன்று போடுறேன்னா போடு, 14 டேக்கு ஒன்று போடுறேன்னா போடு, 1 month ஃபுல்லா ஒன்று போடுறேன்னா போடு, 3 இன்டர்ன்ஷிப். That's a big deal. Okay, and make it relevant. So please consider this fact. ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட போறது வேணாம்னு சொல்ல, ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸை கூப்பிட்டு இன்டர்ன்ஷிப் போங்க, அங்க போயிட்டு என்ன வேணுமோ பண்ணுங்க, சேர்ந்து படிங்க, சேர்ந்து படிச்சு எஃபர்ட்ஸ் போடுங்க. ரைட் நவ் Afra, who's sitting in the meet together, we actually went to an internship together. So that's where we had a lot of bonding. It was a really fun time. So take your friends to your internship along with you. You'll have a lot of fun learning together. So when one person doesn't understand one thing, the other will always be able to teach. So that was something that came into play. Me and Afra, we had different interests. She'll be able to tell you that in her session. We had different interests. So one module Afra helped me learn, I helped her learn the other module. So it was a really good enriching learning experience. So group ஆ போறீங்கன்னா internship போங்க. internship போயிட்டு ஈவினிங் முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் போய் டின்னர் சாப்பிடுறீங்களா, முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் எங்கேயாச்சும் வெளில போறீங்களா, sure, but take time to build your own career. Okay, right now it might seem like 20 வயசு தானே ஆகுது, this is time meant for me to enjoy அப்படின்ட்டு இருக்கும். நான் இல்லைன்னு சொல்லவே மாட்டேன். Obviously it's something even I feel, but the sacrifices I made at that point of time are the ones that made me sit here and explain to you how I had to cross all of that and have a successful career. Okay, it's not successful yet, but I'll tell you another 1 or 2 years. The last one I'd want to talk about is your SOP. SOP's statement of purpose. I cannot enunciate this enough. Your SOP is basically who you are on a piece of paper. Okay, so it does not matter. Universities might have a requirement of 500 words la dhaan SOP எழுதணும். So அதுக்குள்ள நீ academic qualifications எல்லாம் போடணும், நீ என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன்றது போடணும், நீ யாருன்றதை சொல்லணும், ஏன் இந்த கண்ட்ரிக்கு வர, இந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கு வரன்றது எல்லாத்தையும் 500 words முடியணும் சொல்லுவாங்க. சில பேர் வந்து நீ கதை எழுது, நீ ராமாயணம் எழுது, எது வேணாலும் எழுதுன்னு விட்டுருவாங்க. ஓகே, எதுவா இருந்தாலும் you need to make sure that you shine across on that paper. Okay, when you submit the SOP, they need to be able to actually see your life on the paper. So they need to be able to see behind the curtains. I don't want something that's generated by ChatGPT. I don't want something that's there on the internet. I want something that is a reflection of what you've been feeling inside. Okay, the reason I took molecular medicine was because of experiences from my personal life. Okay, I grew up in a family where there were a lot of illnesses. There was a lot of medical terms being thrown around ever since I was a little child. So on the time pura enna irundhucho na adu vandu idu panna. Okay, SOPs cannot be done overnight. So தயவு செஞ்சு முன்னாடியே ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க. 2 months இருந்தாலும் 2 monthsல உட்காந்து SOP எழுதுங்க. Okay, third one, your SOP has a good introduction, hook, passions, ellame, the points that I've mentioned, and most of all, purpose. Okay, you need to shine across on that paper. Your passion has to come out. No one wants to hear you've done so much internships, you don't want to hear you've done so much work and all, but நீ ஏன் அந்த work பண்ண, எப்படி அதை பண்ண, அந்த workல நீ என்ன கத்துக்கிட்ட, that is what I want to hear. And it's a promise that you make to the university and to yourself. Okay, that is the most important. அந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டிக்கு நீ என்ன கொடுக்க போற, அந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டி உனக்கு என்ன கொடுக்க போகுது, இந்த படிச்சு நீ என்ன பண்ண போற, நீ இத படிச்சு உலகத்துக்கு என்ன பண்ண போற. Okay, the last ones, it's a direct reflection of who you are. Okay, SOP வந்துட்டு நான் வந்துட்டு ChatGPT ல prompt போடுறேன், அது எனக்கு கொடுக்கும், நான் அதை ஹியூமனைஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு நான் இன்னொரு AI ல போடுறேன் அப்படின்றது பண்ணனா கண்டிப்பா SOP பார்த்து மதிக்க மாட்டாங்க. Okay, take time. ChatGPT ல போட்டு ஜெனரேட் பண்ணாலும் take the time, take it off ChatGPT, look at words, make it more emotional. People want to see emotions, they don't want to see you be a robot. Okay, உன்னோட ரைட்டிங் ஸ்டைல், நீ எப்படி பேசுவ, உன்னோட கேரக்டர், bring that as much into words as you can. Okay, you don't have to be an extremely good writer, you have to be extremely honest to yourself and to the university. உனக்கு ஒரு விஷயம் தெரியலன்றதையே SOP ல எழுது, ஆனா அதை எப்படி எழுதுற அப்படின்றதுதான் கலை. Okay, so if you can't write your SOP on your own, write your SOP, give it to your friends. I cannot tell you how many times I've given my SOP to Afra, or Afra's given me her SOP. We've read through each other's. We've literally gone through, this doesn't sound like you. I've told her so many times, bro, this is not who you are. She's told me so many times, this doesn't sound like you at all. This seems so fake. Okay, so the best judge of your writing is your friends, because அக்குவே ராணி வேறையா நீதானா இல்லையா அப்படின்றத ஒழுங்கா சொல்லுவாங்க. Okay, give your SOP to your friends, ask them, is this a reflection of who you are? If they are impressed, you're good. The university is going to be impressed. So your SOP is your first and last impression before the interview. Interviews may or may not happen. So this is your only chance to make an impression, and you want to make it count. Okay. So these are everything that I went through while applying for my master's. What happens during my master's, I'll maybe inform you all if you want to get in touch with me. But apart from that, there's also specific questions that will come. So if you guys have any questions, I hope we can push it back to the end of the session. I'm sorry I took a lot of time. If you have any questions, you can ask in the Q&A session. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sharanya, for an inspiring and insightful talk. It reflects your passion and true commitment to scientific exploration. Thank you.
Up next, we warmly welcome Afra Naz Akhtar. Her fascinating project on adipogenic differentiation of mesenchymal stem cells reflects her deep interest in molecular biology and public health. With a solid and strong academic record, her path is both grounded and inspiring. Let's hear from her as she is all set to take us through her academic path and the exciting road ahead in the field of molecular biology and public health.
Thank you for the introduction, Neha. Hi, everyone. I'm Afra. I'm from the 2021 to 2025 batch of biotechnology, and I will be continuing the session today, uh, deviating a bit and building upon from wherever Charanya told you guys about earlier. So I'll just share my screen. I hope you guys can see it. Yeah. Okay. I hope my screen is visible, right? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, hi everyone. Like Charnia mentioned earlier in her session, she gave a very thorough breakdown of things you need to consider, what you need to think about, what sort of steps you need to take on deciding whether or not studying abroad, following higher studies, whether it's abroad or in India, is for you. So, taking the next step forward, if you're choosing to do it abroad, there's the question of where you should do it. That's something that you have to decide yourself. And just think it over, really. Do as much research as possible. Comb through online forums, connect with people on LinkedIn, talk to them, get their insight, because it is a difficult road from the time you start thinking about your application, not even doing it, just thinking about it, what you have to do, how you plan it out. It is not a walk in the park. From that time, even well after you've started your course or whatsoever, navigating life in a new country all on your own, it warrants for a lot of thought to be put into that decision. But at the same time, when you make a decision, consider every single factor that Charanya mentioned. Like, we cannot stress how important each and every single factor is. So important to consider, from your financials, your what you are interested in, the job market, etc., all of that. The internet is free, guys. You have literally all the knowledge in the world at your fingertips on your phone and your laptop. You guys are so lucky to be able to find out so much information about your possible next steps, so you can make an informed decision. So when you make the decision, be confident. As passionate as you are, be confident in that you will see this entire decision through, that you will see it completely through till the end. So when you're choosing a country abroad, most people think about, okay, USA, UK, Canada, Australia. These are like the four horsemen of the apocalypse, the standard countries most people choose. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are plenty of opportunities available in these countries. They have great programs and lots of exposure. However, when you consider the current state of the world in relation to, say, job market or visa or other reasons, you might want to look for an alternate option and deviate away from the mainstream mainstream options. So that's why most people are deviating towards Europe. And in Europe, you could go anywhere. You can go to Netherlands, Sweden, Belgium, or France, or Germany, like I'll start in a second. So each country will have its own pros and cons. Once again, circling back to those factors that you have to consider when choosing a country. So considering that my entire application process for my master's program has been focused on Germany, and just a PSA, it's a very long-winded process. So some of you might already be making plans like, okay, I might go here for my master's. This looks like a good idea. But when you're thinking about that, you don't fully know what the entire process is going to look like. So I'll just give you a brief little guide on what to expect in the next steps should you choose this path. So most people would like to consider Germany as an option for their masters because of three very key features. Is that they have a very good quality of education. Unlike most countries where you can say, okay, the Ivy Leagues in USA are the top ranked universities in that country compared to other tier 1, 2, 3 universities. But that system does not exist in Germany. Education is free. Higher education is free, completely free in Germany for German citizens. So the quality of education, all higher education institutes, they have the same level of education, the standard of education, the teaching and everything in that country. So there's no this university is better than that sort of business over there. And like I said, education is free. However, as of recent times, international students have been charged semester fees, but it's usually only around, say, maybe 100 to 300 euros, which would be probably 10,000 to 30,000 rupees. So compared to how much you might pay for your master's in any other country, this seems like a steal. It's a lot if you are very concerned about the financials aspect of doing your master's abroad. People are more inclined towards pursuing one in Germany. So that aside, Germany is very well known to be one of the biggest life sciences and pharmaceutical hub in Europe. There are a lot of very well-known research institutes like the Max Planck Institutes, the Helmholtz Centers. So there is a boom in life science research in Germany. So this is just the pros of why you might want to think about going to Germany for your master's. And like every other place, it has its own cons, which we will cover in a bit. So if you've already done a bit of research, you might already be familiar with what I'll be telling you guys in the next slides. So you might be thinking, okay, what next? You have to start. When do I start? When is the best time to start? What do I have to do? Because unlike most countries, there are a few unique features of applying to Germany based on the universities, based on the entire system present in Germany itself in relation to applying from India. So some essential things you need to have ready with you would be an English language test, your grade transcripts, your statement of purpose, and something called the APS certificate, which we will touch in a bit. Generally, you might think, okay, I need to get my letter of recommendation. I need to get my SOP ready for my application. However, one thing in Germany is that most of the universities do not require letters of recommendations. Very few universities might need it. So that's why it's not mentioned over here. Most of them do not require letters of recommendation. And your English proficiency in terms of your IELTS or TOEFL, prioritize that, because you don't need to write GATE or GRE because they mostly don't consider that test. If they have a test, it is mostly an entrance exam that is hosted by the department offering that degree itself. So not any centralized testing thing. So apart from that, the only other test you will have to give is your English language test, because you will most likely be inclined towards applying for a master's degree in English rather than in German, unless you are fully committed to the bit to completely learn German as a language before you even decide to apply for your master's. So most internationals will prefer English taught degree programs in Germany. So or any other country, obviously, for that matter. So focus on your IELTS because apart from the overall band, your score on the other 4 sections matter, and it's an important consideration. It's an essential requirement. And like Charnia mentioned earlier, having a very strong resume with lots of experience in internships, research publications, anything else to build up your profile, even if your CGPA might be a little lackluster. It's a little different over here. There is a certain amount of importance given to your grades because it's used as like a filtering procedure. So the German system of measuring your grades is on a scale of 1 to 4, with 1 being the highest. Say 10 CGPA is like 1, and 4 being the absolute lowest. So there are online converters to find out what your current CGPA right now is, converted into a German CGPA. So even on the degree websites, you will have essential qualifications that you need to have minimum this much CGPA, you need to have this much English proficiency, such and such. So some care will need to be given to that while you're applying. So if you want to apply somewhere where they are a bit more holistic with their admissions criteria and not focusing too much on their grades, you might want to consider someplace else. But if you are clear with grades and you still want to aim towards Germany, go right on ahead. Now we'll talk about this APS certificate. So when people gave me advice about applying to Germany, I did not know what APS was. So I scoured YouTube, Reddit, every corner of the internet, the APS website itself, on what this thing is, why do I need it, and how do I go about applying for this. So basically what the APS or APS certificate is, it is issued by the German embassy here in New Delhi in association with DAAD. So that's the Academic Exchange Service of Germany. And that is important, and we'll discuss why a few slides later. But APS, basically what they do is they verify and validate all of your academic documents, like your 10th certificate, your 12th certificate, your degree, everything. Basically to confirm that, yes, all of these certificates that this candidate has presented are valid. They are not counterfeit. They are 100% real, and they are a student who is completely eligible to apply for a master's degree. So this is a requirement of students who are applying to Germany from 3 specific countries. It's for students who have completed their higher education in India, People's Republic of China, and Vietnam. So it's a requirement for Indian students. So you mostly cannot apply to universities without having your APS certificate in hand. So if you're planning on applying to Germany, particularly if you're in final year right now and you want to apply for 2026 winter intake, I suggest you start preparing like probably right now, or even in the next couple of months, because most of your deadlines for your application windows for the next upcoming winter semester will start earliest by December. So by then, if you have because your APS certificate can take anywhere between 15 days or 1 month to even 3 to 4 months. So it's completely unpredictable, and you do not know when the certificate will reach you. So if you're 100% serious about studying in Germany, please give utmost importance to getting your APS certificate in time. So if you're still so to get your APS certificate, you can go right to APS India's website. They have all the information you need over there. They have a checklist. You have to apply on their website, courier your documents to New Delhi, and after that, following processing and verification, you will receive your APS certificate in your email. So that is one thing apart from the basics of your SOP, transcripts, IELTS that you need to make sure you have in time if you're applying to Germany. So once you have APS, you're pretty much in the clear. After that, you only have whatever's left from the university side. So speaking of the universities, since there's no particular ranking on which university is better than what in Germany, you have a huge list of options. You can apply to, I think there are close to more than maybe 100, 200, if I remember correctly. There are plenty of universities across Germany that you can apply to, as long as you qualify for their eligibility requirements. Mostly it is whether whether the degree was such and such length, whether you have such and such subjects in your course, whether you have APS, etc., etc. To look for these requirements, make sure you thoroughly read the specific degree program website from top to bottom, because they will have all the requirements they need. There's nothing hidden. Everything is presented on that website. So most of you might be familiar with Technical University of Munich, TUM, or KIT, University of Heidelberg, Göttingen. Plenty. These are just some common universities you might have heard of. And apart from that, there is a long list of universities that you can apply to. There are also these universities of applied sciences, it's called Fachhochschulen in Germany. So universities, as mentioned above, generally have a bit more theoretical approach, despite having a lot of research going on at these institutes. Fachhochschulen, or universities of applied sciences, have a bit more practical oriented teaching. So it's not so based on what you want from a degree, what you expect, you can choose from either a bit more theoretical university or somewhere where you might have a bit more hands-on learning. So you have a huge array of choices to make in Germany. So once again, circling back to what Charnia said, different factors to consider while shortlisting universities, while shortlisting the degree program you want to apply to. Take some time to think about what you really want to do, and then start combing through your options and see, okay, where is this particular degree program offered? See if you can find alumni on LinkedIn, maybe try connect with them, talk to them, or go to the university page itself and see what they have to say about their curriculum, if they have any alumni testimonials, all sorts of information. Basically, your overall advice is comb through every corner of the internet that you can to make sure you make a very well-informed decision, because this is your life, this is your career. You don't want to make go all into this and then over there think, oh no, I think I made a mistake. So think everything carefully and think it through carefully and thoroughly. So when we come to sending in your application for Germany, for universities in Germany, you have two different semesters you can apply to. You have the summer semester, which will start in around March, April, and the winter semester, which most of us apply for along with the fall semester of other countries, which starts in October. So deadlines for the winter semester, generally, the application window is generally from anywhere between December to May, or even until July. So you have a huge application window that can vary from one university to another. If you want to apply for summer semester, if you are currently in your final year, you can't apply for summer semester because you will most likely not finish your degree by then. But if, say, you are taking a gap year or so, you can apply for a summer semester. Generally, there are lesser people applying for summer semesters because most people are fixated on applying for the winter semester. So, but some courses might not be offered in summer semesters. So make sure you find out those specific details. So most applications are done obviously through direct university portals. However, some universities might direct you through something called Uni Assist. So what Uni Assist is like a centralized application portal that will require you to upload your documents. It will once again verify your documents, evaluate them, see if you qualify for the eligibility requirements, and then forward it to the university for them to make a decision on their admission. So some some programs might require you to get a VPD from UniAssist. So for getting your VPD from UniAssist, it can take anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks to even 7-8 weeks, even longer if you apply anywhere during peak application times for either of these semesters. So if you choose a university that needs you to apply through UniAssist, needs you to get a VPD, you should start as soon as possible. I personally did not apply to any university that required me to apply through UniAssist with a VPD. The universities I applied to had direct university portals. So I personally didn't want to go through that entire long-winded process because it's a lot of unknowns to factor in. So that was my personal choice. If you want to increase your chances by applying to many universities, you will probably have to pick universities that you might want, that have a program you like, that will want you to go through UniAssist. So it's not like you shouldn't go through UniAssist. In fact, I encourage you to go through UniAssist. If you are confused about it, because I'm sure with everything I'm info dumping on you right now, you will be confused. But there are plenty of YouTube videos, Reddit posts, even Google, ChatGPT, anything. There is all the information online. Even the UniAssist website itself will have a step-by-step guide on how to apply through UniAssist, get the VPD, etc. So you really don't have to worry about that. So apart from that, there are some key websites you should be aware of while you're applying to universities in Germany. So the first is Anabin. So Anabin is a database where it has shortlisted universities all across the world on whether or not their degrees offered by them are officially recognized by German universities. So if your university is not recognized on this database, then your degree is null and your application is null. But luckily for us, since we are affiliated with Anna University is recognized as H+. So your university has to be recognized as H+ for your degree to be valid and qualify you for applying to Germany. So don't worry about that. But this is important to know in case you're doing, say, maybe doing a double degree, or you have friends that you want to talk to about this information. Next is DAD. So like I mentioned earlier, DAD is like your one-stop shop for anything related to studying or working in Germany. On DAD, you can put in your qualifications, like, okay, 12th, I got such and such percentage. I've completed my university degree. I have this much CGPA. Do I qualify for subject restricted admission into such and such course in Germany? Because when you're applying to certain programs, they will ask you, do you qualify for this? Have you written the entrance exam? So there'll be a lot of terms you don't really recognize. So to help you navigate through that, Anabin and DAD will have that option for you to enter your details and find out with your qualifications what sort of entrance qualification do I possess that qualifies me to apply for this course. What do I select from the drop-down menu? So apart from that, you can use DAD to literally search through every single course offered in every single university in Germany. So if you search for a couple of keywords, let's say I want to apply for something focusing on immunology. So if I put in my keyword for immunology, I will find every single master's program that has immunology in its program name offered in every university across Germany. And from there, I can shortlist what course I want to apply to, what university I want to apply to. So DAD is very helpful for that case. And there are also DAD scholarships that you can also browse through. While your tuition is not much in Germany, depending on university, you also have to factor in living costs, travel costs, and all students applying who want to matriculate to Germany for the masters have to have a certain amount of euros in an account called a block account. So that comes to around, say, 10, 12 lakhs. So even if it's not, you consider Germany to not be expensive, it does not hurt to go through scholarships to cover such and such financial requirements. And then we have the websites of UniAssist and APS India. All UniAssist and APS India both have step-by-step the steps on how to get your VPD, how to apply for APS. So it's all pretty clear cut. If it is not, before we get to if it is not, you have the internet at the tip of your fingers. There are hundreds, thousands of students who have applied before you, maybe in the same situation as you. So you are not alone, and you can definitely find even the most silliest question that you might have thought of somewhere posted on an online forum, say 2 or 3 years ago. So before we get to some key things to remember, just to go over it once again, an ideal preparation time for the documents you need, particularly for APS, would be between October to December. That is, if you're going to apply for the winter semester of 2026, final years, you should at least start by October, November, December of 2025. So not only APS, your personal statement, your IELTS, have all of that done by then. So some of the earliest application windows will open by December, or some may even open, particularly universities that require you to apply through UniAssist. They may have a very short application period from June 15th to July 15th. So I've seen this in some universities that needed UniAssist. So in that case, you would have to apply for your VPD well in advance. So be sure you're completely thorough with what your program requires of you while applying, to ensure that you don't want to miss out anything from your side that might mess up your application, because then you will feel that regret, obviously. So it's a long haul apply if you're focusing on Germany. Definitely keep other countries as an option, like say Ireland, the Netherlands, France. Just once again, go through all the factors that particularly for the job market, the universities, what tie-ups they have, whether what alumni of those particular courses in those countries have to say, and make an informed decision. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's one advice I can give you. So even if you think, oh, this seems like a lot of programs that I'm applying to, should I cut down? No, don't. In fact, try to apply to as many programs as you can. So maximum by May or even until July, you will have deadlines. So and only then, around June, July, or no later than July, will you be hearing back whether you are rejected or whether you have been accepted. So it's a solid 6-7 month process, in all honesty. So it's something to prepare yourself for. So some important points to remember: apply on time, or apply as early as possible. This is like an unofficial tip that a lot of people say. If say my application window, it's opening tomorrow, at the very least, try to apply within this week. Don't delay it, because some places might have rolling admissions. So as soon as they get an application, they will process it. If you qualify for the requirements, if they like your profile, etc., you could get admitted. If you applied late, even if your profile is good, they might not take you in. And one more thing is that Germany is a little strict with their required university requirements, particularly for their, apart from just their CGPA. Some programs will want you to have such and such courses like molecular biology, immunology, or anatomy, things like that. They'll say you need such and such European credits, ECTS, but we don't have ECTS. We have a different credit point system. So you mostly don't have to worry about converting our credits to ECTS because university will do that for you. They will take in your transcript, your grades, your grading system, all that, and they'll calculate that and see if you have enough knowledge. So at the very least, when you're applying for a program, apart from just choosing what you want to study, make sure that you possess such qualification. You have the subjects that they want in your transcript. You have taken up these subjects, because if you do not have these subjects in your curriculum, you have a very good chance of being rejected outright. So to avoid that, make sure that it sounds a little counterproductive that you are interested in something, but it might deviate a bit from what you learned. So you might not have enough subject qualifications, things like that. So look for courses that may not have too many constraints on the subject requirements. So any program that you are looking for, go through the eligibility requirements as carefully as you can. I cannot stress this enough. It is very important that you are very thorough on what requirements they have on you, because if you don't qualify for that, then you are flat out rejected. There's not a chance of there's not much of a holistic admissions process over here. So so be very thorough while choosing a program and going through the eligibility requirements. And like I said earlier, any question, even the silliest question you might have, you think, oh my god, no one's going to have asked this is so silly, how can I have such a question? Someone has definitely asked that question online, definitely. If not someone online, maybe someone, maybe one of our seniors, an alumni from our college, might have faced the same problem you might be facing right now. So do not hesitate to reach out to people anywhere about any questions you might have. So now that we talked about the pros earlier, these are some, you could say they are cons, but they're mostly just things to keep in mind when you are making a decision whether or not you want to fully commit to studying in Germany. Because for me personally, it was long back and forth. Do I really want to go here? Okay, why not? Let's do it, sort of situation for me. So these are some things you should consider when it comes to if you are thinking about choosing Germany in particular for your higher studies. So the curriculum in German universities is known to be quite rigorous. That's why you'll be quite surprised to know it is very normal for people to extend their masters to say 3 or 4 years, because they have a very big course. Their examination regulations are nothing like exams here at home. It focuses a lot on how you're able to apply your concepts. So a lot of people find it a difficult shift. So you have to be prepared to put in a lot of work to keep up with everyone. And even if you are applying to an English taught course, it is important that you know German, because Germany runs on German. So apart from being fully independent and studying a rigorous, a very academically challenging degree, not being able to do some basic things like pay your bills, get groceries, because you don't understand the language, is something that could ruin the entire experience for you. You will find that you think, okay, I can't manage this. This is not working out for me. So that's why it's not that uncommon for people to take time off, like a gap year, in addition to getting relevant experience, but also learning the language. Because even if you don't officially need to provide a certification, it would help you a lot, especially if you want to apply for internships or work post after your degree. Having a good grasp of German goes a long way. And especially now, considering there are a lot of constraints for the more mainstream countries for higher studies, a lot of people will be more inclined to flock towards Germany. So there might be increased competition, as it is everywhere, of course. And a lot of courses generally have, say, 20 or 30 seats. There are also courses that are NC free, that is, they don't have a specified number of seats. But some of these life science degrees do have very small class sizes. So if you want to up your chances, do as much as you can. Try to focus more on your grades, because that is also equally important. Try to have as many internships under your belt as you can. Immerse yourself in research, do a research project, write a paper, or do a certification, online certification, anything you can to improve your profile. Do not miss any opportunity. So that's just like an overall what you should know 101 if you are choosing to consider this one particular country. Obviously, it is not as stringent in other European countries. Other European countries have their own pros and cons. But this is just one place that you, in terms of financial factor in particular, people might be more inclined to choose this. So whatever you choose to do, because you know your own situation, your own passion, what you want to do next better than anyone, no matter how many people give you advice or tell you you should probably do this, I think you should do that. More than that, you are the one who knows yourself the best. And if you ever hear definitive advice like you shouldn't do this, if it's say you are interested in something, someone is advising against it for, say, whatever reason, apart from a logical reason, like, say, for example, Charnia said, don't try to specialize immediately with your master on something very niche, because you might find difficult to move beyond that. So that's valid criticism. I'm talking about something really silly, like, oh my god, you shouldn't go there, there are too many people, etc., some silly reason. But at that moment, you are riddled with so many opinions, like, oh my god, I'm not sure what to do. Stuff like that. Just have an open mind, and if you are confident in your decision, and as long as it's well informed, take the leap of faith. Like, be as confident as you are passionate, like I said earlier, because even if you figure out, okay, even if I'm not very much inclined to this, I am still learning something from this, and I can somehow there's something called transferable skills. So if you can transfer your skills elsewhere, it would be helpful for you. So my advice to you is take definitive definitive and silly advice with a grain of salt, but be sure that you are taking in realistic advice. Like, yes, not everything is going to be all rosy and like a fairy tale, like, oh yes, if I go here it's going to be great. There are some drawbacks to every single place, but if there are enough positives for you to consider, okay, this seems worth a shot, and there is not much risk in comparison to some other place, definitely give it a try. Because if you think it's an opportunity that you might miss, or like something you don't want to pass up on, go for it. So that's really all I have. My presentation was helpful. So you can reach out to me anytime if you have any doubts and any questions if you have from the presentation. I think there's a Q&A session afterwards, so you can ask them then. So thank you so much for paying attention, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Afra, for sharing your journey with such clarity and passion. Your experience is sure to guide many of us forward. Now we're excited to welcome Ms. Avantika Satyanarayan, who is known for her academic excellence and passion for research. She has gained hands-on experience at top institutions like the Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology and Shankar Nethralaya, working in nanotechnology, nanobiotechnology, and molecular diagnostics. Her project on plant-based anticoagulants and leukemia therapies earned accolades at national conferences. Let's hear from Ms. Avantika Satyanarayan.
Thank you, Neha, for the me, right? And can you see me? Uh, Okay. So I think I'm facing some issues. So I'll just off my network and then I'll just start with the presentation. So I'll be presenting on MTech and MSc and MS opportunities which are available in India. So as my colleagues Brenda and Rafana discussed, opportunities of is available in India. I want to give in general the options that are available are very good and they have clarity. The same thing applies to whatever is there in India as well. Strategy that like you have to make sure you have academic career and also make sure that you have internships that you have already done. So now the final year project, you're a handful of good internships in good places. If you have this, then you're well and good to do your masters in India. And also to do that masters in India, like few added advantages, Kaka, you can also write few good
Akka,
entrance exams, which will give you
excuse
a
me.
good stipend. Yeah.
Avantika,
Yeah.
your voice is actually breaking. Do you mind checking your network once?
Can you hear me now?
It's still not clear.
Can you hear me now? Is it fine or
Yeah,
is
no,
it
it's
fine
much
now?
better. Akka. It's much better.
Okay. 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 Yeah. So, this is fine. Just go on this presentation.
Your voice is breaking again, Akka.
Now is it fine? Since
No.
I'm not speaking as a using my hotspot, we could see that. You have a presentation here, no?
Yeah, I have your presentation.
Can you just study that as PDF?
Yeah, sure. Give me 2 minutes. I'll share. Okay.
So that just I'm so sorry since I'm in college. So I'm not able to network. And now, can you hear me my voice?
Can I try speaking again?
Yeah. Can you hear me
Yeah.
my voice now? Is it fine?
Yeah, much
Okay.
better.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm here to talk about all the MTech and MS opportunities and MSc opportunities that is available in India. So as I have already mentioned, the opportunities that are available in India, they are also bit critical and they are also konja customer input. But if you want to do good specialization means it will be even more better to do in India for MTech and MS opportunities. So here, number India MTech and MS opportunities like most of for advanced research goals and to have good pharma career growth. Like if you have a passion towards like a drug design, I want to design some drug. I want to do like or a pharma based or lab assistant, lab researcher if I want to work. Or if you want to pursue good PhD program, I want to work on a project where I get a good paper and a good PhD a degree. So for that, you can do good master's degree in India. So the presentations that in this presentation, I'll be mainly covering on all the entrance exam. உங்க MTech and MS opportunities Indiaல enhance ஆகணும்னா you have to write certain good entrance exams. அந்த entrance exam எழுதினீங்கன்னா you will get an additional stipend and உங்களுக்கு ஒரு added value இருக்கும் for your MTech opportunities that you will be doing. And also discuss about certain colleges and top colleges. Meena MTech and MS basic biotechnology in the college. But India, if you want to do certain specialization, if now I'm currently considering my MTech in medical nanotechnology, which is a specialized course in biotechnology. So Annamari courses you have many courses in India as well. So you have same like or laptop முன்னாடி உட்காருங்க. Just search MTech and MS specialization opportunities in India. You will have n number of courses where like you will have big data biology, you will have industrial biotechnology, you will have computational biology, you have medical nanotechnology. Like in the very list, you have more than 10 courses that is available in India with masters. Okay. And MS opportunities as well, like MSc bioinformatics. So இது எல்லாமே வந்துட்டு மாஸ்டர்ஸ்ல இருக்கு. So you can just go on that. And also இதுல நீங்க எந்த course like if you want to choose அப்படிங்கிறது mainly based on உங்களோட starting till now you had some fascination to one course. Okay, if I read this I'm feeling happy, I can do and I can read about it well. So choose that course அது related masters பாருங்க. Okay, don't like I have not known about this or even I want to go away from this. நினைச்சாலும் ஓகே பட் ஒன் கோர்ஸ்ல உங்களுக்கு பேஷன் இருந்துச்சுன்னா அங்கேயும் மாஸ்டர்ஸ் இந்தியால தேடுங்க ஃபார் ஷோர் யூ கிளிக்கிங் சம்திங் லைக் தட் ஐ ஸ்டார்டட் மை நானோ passion and now I'm doing my master's in medical nanotechnology. It was just one seminar that I attended and from that I got my passion and from that I did my final year project and from that only I'm doing my master's now. So 2 internships in that nano based and 1 final year project. It made me to just come and sit here and do my medical nanotechnology masters. So it is not that much difficult. But I'm not in the masters in the Panama in the entrance exam. I could see the build financially, it would be way more easy. Okay, so and as I said, why to pursue masters in biotechnology like DBT, JRF, CSIR, fellowships like DBT and CSIR, JRF happens to have good gate score. Like gate pass or gate score இருந்ததுன்னா அவங்களே உங்களை கூப்பிட்டு after application அவங்களே உங்களுக்கு கூப்பிட்டு they will make you, they'll give you a position of JRF and drug development, genomics, bioinformatics எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்றேன். Okay, because bioinformatics, computational biology, big data biology, it is highly growing. So if you have உங்களுக்கு coding நல்லா தெரிஞ்சிருக்கு, எனக்கு coding படிச்சிருக்கு, at the same time எனக்கு பயோவும் பிடிச்சிருக்கு அப்படின்னா இங்கே இந்தியால you will have many government colleges and many private colleges and also நீங்க வந்துட்டு ஃபீஸ்க்கு அப்ளை பண்ணலாம் இல்ல அதெல்லாம் இது பண்ணணுமா அப்படின்னா வந்து இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்துட்டு அவ்வளோ நீங்க கன்ஸ்ட்ரெயின்ஸ் பண்ணவே இல்லை. there is nowhere like வந்து abroad கேட்ட மாதிரி நீங்க எஜுகேஷன் இருக்குமா அப்படின்னு நீங்க போகணும். நல்ல எஜுகேஷன் இருக்கு It's just that you choose best. That's it. So next slide. Go to next slide.
This slide, right?
Yeah. So more okay. So this is like the as I have said, certain entrance exam is needed. So like national level the GATE, JAM, which is joint entrance exam, and then CUTPG. So இது வந்துட்டு for Tamil Nadu colleges வந்துட்டு CUTPG எழுதுங்க. ஆனா ஸ்டேட் லெவலுக்கு டான்சல். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு என்ட்ரன்ஸ் எக்ஸாம்ஸ் ஃபார் எம்டெக் அண்ட் எம்பிசி. இது எதுக்கு நீங்க எழுதுறீங்கன்னா ஃபார் யுவர் ஆடட் அட்வான்டேஜ். லைக் எப்படி நீங்க ஜிஆர்ஏ எழுதுறீங்க, சர்டன் காலேஜஸ் கேட்பாங்க, சர்டன் காலேஜஸ் கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. லைக் ஒரு ஆடட் அட்வான்டேஜ்க்கு மட்டும் எடுத்து ஜிஆர்ஏ எழுதும் அப்படின்னா எழுதும். அந்த மாதிரி அவரோட காலேஜஸ். But in India, if you want to do good masters, if you write GATE exam, if you have GATE score or not, it's fine. But GATE score கிடைச்சதுனா ரொம்ப நல்லது. GATE score இருந்தா go to good IIT institution, or if you have a GATE score, you will get a stipend. Like most of the colleges, they are offering stipend. If you are GATE pass itself, they will offer you a stipend of 12,400 per month. And your fees also in India for masters will get reduced if you have a GATE score. So idella added perks if you have a GATE score and you are doing masters in India. And it is not only in IIT institution, or it is not only in Tamil Nadu colleges. It is also in other private institutes also. If you have a good GATE score, they will offer you stipend, and they will also cut down all your semester courses. So that will be an added advantage. And I have said about GATE score validity 3 years valid. இப்ப நீங்க இந்த வருஷம் GATE score எழுதுறீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு வந்துட்டு GATE score நல்ல மார்க் கிடைச்சிருச்சு அப்படின்னா நீங்க ஜிஆர்எஃப் ஒர்க் பண்ணலாம், அப்ளை பண்ணி ஜிஆர்எஃப் ஒர்க் பண்ணலாம். இல்ல எனக்கு வந்துட்டு GATE score கிடைச்சிருச்சு, with that if I want to pursue masters position. இல்ல அதுக்கு நடுவில் if you want to work பண்ணிட்டு கூட அந்த GATE score வச்சுட்டு 3 years valid அந்த GATE score. So நீங்க 1 year work பண்ணிட்டு கூட அடுத்த இயர் நீங்க மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணாலும் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, சோ இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு GATE score advantages. And where and all GATE score is needed, அதெல்லாம் இங்க வந்துட்டு IIT, IISc அங்கெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு GATE score is அதே மாதிரி IIT JAM, which is a joint admission test for MSc. So MSc-ங்கிறது MSc is like bioinformatics ல இருக்கு, biochemistry ல இருக்கு, medical sciences ல இருக்கு. இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு biotechnology படிச்சிருந்தா MSc இங்க இருக்கலாம். And we also have MS courses in IIT institution that we CGPA or academic உங்களோட மார்க்ஸ் வச்சு கூட வந்துட்டு IIT institution MSc you can apply. It's not necessary that you should have a GATE score. If you have GATE score, admission chances will be very high. But if you have a good CGPA, அப்படின்னா அவங்க எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்றது 80% above CGPA. So அந்த 80% above CGPA உங்ககிட்ட இருக்கு அப்படின்னா only with your CGPA marks which கூட you can apply for MS in IIT. IIT la MS with the CGPA, and they also have 3 courses, which is biological sciences, and that industrial biotechnology, and then they also have computational biology. So in these 3 courses, IIT la MS offer பண்றாங்க only with your CGPA. If you have GATE score, it is an added advantage. And IIT JAM, it is a joint entrance exam, and IITs and IISc. So எல்லாமே multiple choice questions. இந்த multiple choice questions you will also have negative marking. So based on that, you should get well prepared. Have your YouTube videos, or if you want to go and join to some GATE and IIT coaching around, or else based on college portions அப்படின்னா காலேஜ் போர்ஷன்ஸ் என்ன நடத்துறாங்களோ அந்த எல்லா நோட்ஸையும் வந்துட்டு ஒரு பேட்டா வச்சுட்டு எவ்ரி செமிஸ்டர் ஆர் எவ்ரி இயர் முடிஞ்சாலே அதை ப்ரெஷ் அப் பண்ணி படிச்சுட்டே இருங்க. நெகட்டிவ் மார்க் எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுங்கிறத you can just watch certain YouTube videos, or இதுக்கு முன்னாடி IIT GATE எழுதினவங்க or IIT JAM எழுதினவங்களோட வீடியோஸ் பாருங்க. ஸோ அவங்க எப்படி நெகட்டிவ் மார்க்கிங் வந்துட்டு they made sure that negative marking didn't affect their mark அப்படிங்கறத எப்படி இது பண்ணாங்க அதை பாருங்க. ஸோ உங்களால கோச்சிங் போக முடியல அப்படின்னு நினைச்சீங்கன்னா just see the curriculum of the GATE and IIT JAM and just start to prepare it from your second year. And if you are idea that you start preparing for your GATE and IIT JAM. Okay. Next video. Yeah. Next is about PG, which is for common university entrance test, which is for post graduation. So it is in central universities and it's conducted by MT. So this is eligibility என்னன்னா வந்து BSc in life sciences and biotech. Okay, so இது வந்துட்டு it is accepted by Pondicherry University and University of Hyderabad. So இந்த universitiesல வந்துட்டு just go and check like இங்க MTech and MSc courses என்ன or whatever specialization that they are having. So other point, just start to focus. Okay. And other major exams like Dan said, அதுக்கப்புறமா வந்துட்டு CSIR, BITS, JRF கூட நீங்க அப்ளை பண்ணலாம். லைக் இப்போ எனக்கு படிச்சது போதும். I have more passion to do hands-on experience. எனக்கு வந்துட்டு work பண்ணணும். எனக்கு labs work பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா GATE or CSIR அதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு GATE எழுதிட்டு கூட நீங்க JRF பொசிஷனுக்கு அப்ளை பண்ணலாம். CSIR எழுதிட்டு கூட JRF பொசிஷனுக்கு அப்ளை பண்ணலாம். அதே மாதிரி TPT நீங்க research fellowship பண்ணலாம். Okay, so and also if you are doing master's like in a master's பண்றப்போ side by side you can also start your PhD. So in your second year, if you have a good CGPA now வந்துட்டு அவங்களே உங்களை டைரக்டா வந்துட்டு most of the universities and most of the institutions அப்படியே உங்க PhD க்கு வந்துட்டு upgrade பண்ணிடுவாங்க. So upgrade பண்றப்போ you will have extra 2 years or 3 years நீங்க அப்படியே PhD projectல work பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும். For that PhD project also, they will be offering you a stipend, which will be starting from what, like 35 to 45,000 stipend monthly when you are going to a PhD program. So side by side you will be working, and side by side you will also be earning. So this is all I want to talk about the entrance exams. In the entrance exams, நீங்க masters பண்ணணும்னா abroad பண்ண போற masters is totally different. As how Charanya and Afra has said, and how the preparation has to be, and how important it is. அதோட அதுக்கான ஒரு அது அகாமடேட் பண்ற மாதிரி ஆன ஒரு எக்ஸாம்ஸ் இங்க எழுதிட்டு இங்க நீங்க மாஸ்டர்ஸ் இதை வச்சு பண்ணீங்கன்னா it will give you an added advantage. Okay, next slide. So நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி some prominent colleges which is Anna University. So Anna University ல MTech எதுல படிக்கிறாங்க? It is on biotech, food tech and pharma tech. So இது மூணுத்துல வந்துட்டு with specialized basic biotechnology தராங்க, food techலயும் தராங்க, pharma techலயும் தராங்க. And whatever the CGPA that is required and GATE accepted exams are GATE or TANSI. Okay, and other universities are Bharatiya University and then MKU Madurai which offers MSc in biotech. சில காலேஜஸ் அவங்களே அவங்க என்ட்ரன்ஸ் எக்ஸாம் இருப்பாங்க, அவங்களோட லைக் அவங்க ஜாயிண்ட் என்ட்ரன்ஸ் எக்ஸாம் அந்த மாதிரி வச்சுட்டு அதை வச்சு கூட உங்களை வந்துட்டு செலக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. பட் யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ் லைக் பிரைவேட் யூனிவர்சிட்டிஸ் அப்படின்னா வந்துட்டு அவங்களோட என்ட்ரன்ஸ் எக்ஸாம் எழுதி அதுல நீங்கள் டாப் லிஸ்ட்ல வந்தீங்கன்னா யூ கேன் கோ இன்டு தட். இல்ல எனக்கு கேட் ஆர் டான்செட் எழுதி எனக்கு கேட் மார்க் will give me an added advantage. ஸோ நான் அதை பண்ணிட்டு இந்த மாதிரி இன்ஸ்டியூட்ஸ்க்கு போறேன்னாலும் யூ ஹேவ் chances of that. Okay, next slide. Okay, and then இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு all முன்னாடி காமிச்சது அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி and then பாரதியா யூனிவர்சிட்டி அந்த யூனிவர்சிட்டி முடிச்சிச்சு. இப்போ நெக்ஸ்ட் டாப் நேஷனல் லெவல் யூனிவர்சிட்டி விச் இஸ் IITs. ஸோ IITஸ்ல வந்துட்டு MTech பண்ணா வந்துட்டு you need GATE. MSc you can go via JAM, which is Joint Entrance Merit List. Apart from that, as I have already mentioned, MS program is there in IIT. With your CGPA, you can go, and apart from that, with your GATE exam also, if you have this, it will give you an added advantage. And IISc Bangalore, MTech and integrated PhD only, which is our second after the PhD convert பண்ணிடுவாங்க. And that is also via GATE or IISc test. And other central research universities. In the central research universities, when you know this is JRF, if you want to work now, you can work there, which is JNU Delhi, and then BHU Varanasi, University of Hyderabad, ICT Mumbai. In Kalame, as I have said, they also have MTech in specialized courses like bioprocess and like nanotechnology, and then computational biology, bioinformatics. With specialization in India. Next. So this is just a glance of all the some internships like நான் எடுத்த சில pictures and training program. இதை நான் ஏன் உங்களுக்கு காமிக்கிறேன்னா என்னோட ரெஸ்யூமே ஆர் என்னோட சிவி நான் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்றப்போ எனக்கு வந்துட்டு ட்ரைனிங் ப்ரோக்ராம்ஸ், என்னோட இன்டர்ன்ஷிப்ஸ், நான் இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு ஆட் பண்ணிட்டு நான் என்னோட ரெஸ்யூமே நான் இப்ப படிக்கிற காலேஜ்ல இப்ப நான் எம்டெக் மெடிக்கல் நானோ டெக்னாலஜி அண்ட் கரண்ட்லி பர்சிங். ஸோ நான் இப்ப படிக்கிற காலேஜ்ல நான் என்னோட ரெஸ்யூமே சப்மிட் பண்றப்போ this saw like okay, in the student have completed 4 internships. This student has done a training program in this central institute and she has completed her project which is relevant to the course which she is going to study now. So that is way more important. So on the final year project, எவ்வளவுக்கு எவ்வளவு முடியாது, just try to make sure that it comes in relevant to the master's degree that you will be pursuing in India, because that will be a very added advantage. அது பாக்குறப்போ okay, the student has some knowledge about that course previously, so she has the passion towards that course and she is ready to study that course அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஃபெய்த் அவங்களுக்கும் வரும் அண்ட் நம்மளுக்கும் ஓகே நம்மளுக்கு பிடிச்சு நம்ம படிக்க போறோம் அப்படின்னு. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் இந்த சைடு இருக்கிற அதர்ஸ் லெஃப்ட் சைட்ல இருக்கிற 2 பிக்சர்ஸ்மே வந்துட்டு இட் இஸ் அபவுட் டிஷ்யூ இன்ஜினியரிங் where that is growth I have done an internship, and right side like full pictures வந்துட்டு it is about the pictures that I have taken in Rajiv Gandhi Center of Biotechnology. As Neha mentioned, I went for a 15-day training program in Rajiv Gandhi Center of Biotechnology, which is in Trivandrum. So anga ponadla I got an exposure to a lot of instrumentations. Like I went for a 15-day training program and I had an opportunity to visit their 3 campuses with where they had high level like starting from SEM, TEM, confocal microscopy, which is like latest advantage, and also they also have the all latest equipments they will be having. And so இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு உங்களால ஹேண்ட்ஸ் ஆன் பண்ண முடியல, ஓகே இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் இருக்கு, சிடி ஸ்பெக்ட்ரோஸ்கோபி போய் பார்க்கலாம், மாஸ் ஸ்பெக்ட்ரோஸ்கோபி போய் பார்க்கலாம், கான்ஃபோக்கல் மைக்ரோஸ்கோபி பார்க்கலாம், செம் பார்க்கலாம், டெம் பார்க்கலாம். இந்த மாதிரி நெக்ஸ்ட் ஜெனரேஷன் சீக்வன்சிங்கோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஜெனரேஷன்ல இருந்து 4th ஜெனரேஷன் இப்ப என்ன வரப்போதோ ஆல் எக்யூப்மெண்ட்ஸ் தே ஹேவ் which is starting from Illumina, Nanopore, எல்லா எக்யூப்மெண்ட்ஸும் அவங்க கிட்ட இருக்கு. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் நான் என்னோட ரெஸ்யூமில ஆட் பண்ணேன், which is that I went and saw all these instrumentations அப்படின்னு. அவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் பார்த்தப்போ வந்துட்டு ஓகே தி ஸ்டூடெண்ட் ஹேஸ் சம் இவங்களுக்கு இதெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கு அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு இது தே ஹேட் சம் நாலேஜ், லைக் இவங்களுக்கு இதெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சிருக்கு அப்படின்னா அந்த காலேஜ்க்கும் கொடுத்துட்டு. அண்ட் ஆல்சோ ஐ ஃபெல்ட் மோர் ஹாப்பி, ஓகே நான் இதெல்லாம் போய் பார்த்து எனக்கு இதெல்லாம் பிடிச்சது, இதுல இருந்து தான் மை பேஷன் டுவர்ட்ஸ் நானோ டெக்னாலஜி ஆல்சோ ஸ்டார்டட். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி உங்களால 3rd year 4th year அப்போ ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு சென்ட்ரல் யூனிவர்சிட்டி ஆர் இந்த மாதிரி IIT அவங்கெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி கிடைச்சுன்னா ப்ளீஸ் just go and visit their labs. உங்களால ஒர்க் பண்ண முடியல 2 days workshop போங்க, 3 days செமினார் பண்ணுங்க, இல்லைன்னா 10 days training program கூட போங்க. இந்தியாவில் இதை பார்த்து you can just know about it. And next slide, and this is just few pictures that I could add about my final year project. So my final year project was also nano based, where in the right side pakra image on it is SEM imaging. So edukattu SEM imaging, SEM imaging and FTIR. Idu rendume vandittu nanotechnology it was very much important. So in the SEM imaging and FTIR vandittu na Shankar Nidralayala I did my project on nano based peptide drug, which is used for treating cancer in corneal epithelial cells. So adu na pandrappo I had an opportunity to take SEM imaging. I had an opportunity to work with FTIR instrument right from preparing the sample and right from analyzing the data. Like eppadi or sample prepare panni FTIR la eppadi adha pottu eppadi adha sample eduthu ஒரு graph போட்டு அந்த graph analysis எப்படி பண்ணணும்ன்ற வரைக்கும் I got knowledge. அது வந்துட்டு எனக்கு நானோ டெக்னாலஜி மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்றதுக்கு எனக்கு இப்போ ரொம்பவே யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க உங்க ஃபைனல் இயர் ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்துட்டு பயோ இன்ஃபர்மேட்டிக்ஸா இருக்கட்டும், ஃபார்மா பேஸ்டா இருக்கட்டும், பயோ ப்ராசஸா இருக்கட்டும், எதுவா இருந்தாலும் நீங்க எதுல போறீங்களோ அதுக்கேற்றபடியான இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்டேஷன்ஸை ஃபர்ஸ்டே உங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு ஹேண்டில் பண்ண தெரியுமோ ஹேண்டில் பண்ணி தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கோங்க. அது எவ்வளவு தெரியறதோ அது உங்களுக்கு மாஸ்டர்ஸ் நீங்க இந்தியாவில் பண்றப்போ இட் வில் பி வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல் ஃபார் இட். ஸோ that's all. And if you have some doubts, or if you have some queries, you can anytime contact me.
Thank you, Ms. Avantika, for that engaging and insightful session. Your passion and experience truly left us inspired. And it would be great if you turn on your video so we could all see if possible, Akka.
I am trying to turn on, but as I had said, my network here is too bad. So
Okay,
I
understandable. Okay, your voice is actually breaking. And now we open the floor for a Q&A session with our three wonderful seniors. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat or unmute and ask them directly. This is your chance to learn, connect, and clear your curiosities. So, guys, any questions, anything? No questions?
Hello, everyone. I am Padma Shri from
Hi.
Biotech.
Oh.
Hello.
Go on. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Rashika. And I want to ask Avantika Akka about in India, what are the courses that require interview process to be went through, or just gate score and CGPA would do the need? What are the courses that actually need the interviews to be underwent? Hello.
Avantika Akka is facing some internet issues, it seems.
Okay, Rashika,
Yeah,
you
Padma,
proceed
don't
with the
worry.
question.
Yeah, Padma, we'll get back to you after asking this to Akka. No
Yes,
worries.
yes, let others proceed.
Okay, so for now, we'll keep aside Avantika's question. So if you have any doubts for
Uh,
Akka
no,
and
I'm back.
Charana,
I'm back.
oh, okay. Padmashri can
Yeah,
repeat the
I am
question.
back. I'm so sorry.
Akka, what are the colleges or its specific courses that need interview process to be gone through, or any other
In
courses?
India, you're asking that?
Yes, Akka.
Hello.
Yes, in India.
About interview process. There is no need of interview processes to do in India if you want to do masters. Just you need a good CGPA, final year project, and few good internships. That's it. As I have mentioned, entrance exam will be an added advantage. Certain private universities might need the interview process, but as of now, I have seen there is no interview processes that are needed to do masters in India. You just need a good final year project and your CGP. That's it. And gate, if you could write gate means it would be a very added advantage. Yeah.
If it is going to be MS by research also, it doesn't need an interview process.
For MS by research, yes, it might need an interview process. And that too, I think it is only for IIT institutions that they are offering MS by research. For that, you have to one is the US and another one is an India. So, they will shift you to get qualified and MS in IIT. MS need a interview.
It's really breaking, Akka. Can you repeat it again?
MS in IIT. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, Pritka, you're audible.
Or else I'll tell in chat. Is it fine? Okay. So
Yes,
MS in IIT, you will have to qualify in two sections. First is an MCQ test. Okay. If you get qualified in that MCQ test, then you will be directed to an interview process. And in that case, if you get qualified, then you will be eligible to do your MS in IIT. Okay. For three, as I had mentioned, you will be having three courses, which is one is biological sciences, industrial biotechnology, and computational biology. So for all these three courses, you will be having separate curriculum they will give you. According to that, you have to prepare for the MCQ test. And after for getting qualified in that, you have to attend an interview process. For MS, for MTech, you don't have any interview process. It's just your CGPA, your final year project, and if you have GATE, it is the added advantage.
Yes, Akka, thank you.
Okay.
Akka,
Do we have
well,
any other-
adding on to that, we can apply for both MS and MTech programs at the same time, right? They won't clash or they won't enter both the applications.
In IIT, you can't apply for both. In IIT, you can't apply for both MS and MTech together because for MS they will have separate code. For MTech, they will have separate code. So for MS, they will give you a separate application number itself. So if you had applied for MS in IIT, you can't apply for MTech in IIT again. Okay, but you can apply for MTech in any other college. It's fine. But you can apply both MS and MTech in IIT together.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions?
Okay, I think I'll ask this question. This has been bugging me for a while. I have this question for all three seniors, and I'd really like to know because I know what they have done. So, we've talked about co-curriculars. Of course, it is a very needed internships and everything that's part of it, like conferences. But are extracurriculars even considered, like apart from getting your personality? Like, are they even part of who you are and in the future? Does it even come up in the interview ATS processes?
Okay. I'll take this question first. So I've been a part of this one club on college. It's a social club for 3 years. And apart from that, I've also have a bunch of different extracurriculars. So let me say this for everyone. Extracurriculars play a very huge role in your applications. Okay. It's not just with regard to extracurriculars as in your hobbies or any other examinations you've taken, maybe languages, it may be music, dance, whatever it is, any certifications as part of your extracurriculars. But volunteering and social service plays a very huge part in your applications. Okay, even if not in applications, it plays a huge part in scholarships. Okay. So I would suggest that while you guys try to balance co-curriculars with your academics, also find some time for extracurriculars. Okay, that's a field, that's this one sub-column of your resume that you might think is not very important, but it actually goes a really long way. Okay, talking about that, your extracurriculars might also be a way where you improve on your presentation skills and your communication, which is extremely important in your application process and interview processes. So I would suggest that you guys take up a little bit of extracurriculars, if not like extreme, do at least a little bit to add to that specific column in your resume. Maybe social service, it may be being a member of a club. You don't have to be a board member or an executive council member. You can just be a member, just something to prove that you've contributed to something. It might be being part of societies like BT Society, or you could be part of the journal club, you could take part in MBOs, you could be there in the conference committee, you could take part in the college's recharge, you can be part of their committee, you could also be part of various clubs, you can be the members, you don't exactly have to be a badge holder, but it plays a really vital role. So sometimes people, it's also a column that you'll definitely add in your SOP, okay? So that will give you a part where it shows you're not just selfish and self-centered. Okay, உங்களோட வேலைன்னு மாத்திரம் இல்லாம it shows commitment that you will work for the better of your country. Okay, it's a topic that will also come up in your visa interview. For example, I had this question asked to me in both my university interview and my visa interview, where they asked me, what are you willing to do for the country? Okay, so when you can bring in concepts like this to your answer, it gives it a more stronger foundation for you to, actually build upon. Okay, so you can substantiate what you're talking. It doesn't have to be empty words. Okay, so don't consider that extracurriculars are not useful. இப்போ எனக்கு படிக்கிறதுக்கு டைம் இல்லை, எனக்கு வந்துட்டு இன்டர்ன் போகவே டைம் கரெக்டாக இருக்குன்னா, find something but devote that. There are so many online mentor-mentee programs, okay, where you can mentor underprivileged kids on their careers. You can teach them math, you can teach them basic science. Okay, there is a lot of online platforms. Find the time to do that. You can mentor them for about 4 hours a month. Okay, you just have to contribute 4 hours a month, and this will actually provide you with a certificate which is totally legit, and it'll give you a credential as well. Okay, so add some little bit of community service, a little bit of extracurriculars to your profile. So I think that's answered your question, Rashika. I think Afra can also answer this.
You've basically covered all bases, so I don't think there's much to add on, but yeah, it is equally important. Some places might give it more importance than others, but it's not like it's completely useless. Even if it is not directly considered as a part of your application per se, whatever you're trying to make the admissions committee understand, like who you are, what you are all about, or even if you are invited to an interview, whatever skills that you have learned from those experiences will help you in every single stage of your life, beyond just getting an admission into for higher studies, even for getting a job or anywhere else in your life. So give importance to extracurricular activities as well, as much as possible.
Yes, thank you so much, Akash. Thank you. That actually really helped me a lot.
Any other final questions before we close the segment? Okay, then. So before we move to the final segment, we once again express our gratitude to all the participants and our inspiring speakers today. Now we'll present a list of foreign universities where our alumni have pursued their master's degree along with their specializations. If you want, you can take screenshots of the slides that will be presented now. With that, we come to the end of this enriching session. On behalf of the BT Society, I extend our heartfelt thanks to our seniors, Charanya, Afra, and Avantika, for taking the time to share their inspiring journeys, valuable insights, and future plans with us. Your experiences have not only motivated us, but also given us a clear vision of what lies ahead after our undergraduate journey. A big thanks to everyone who joined and made the session interactive and meaningful. Let's continue to learn from each other and grow together as a community. Wishing all our seniors the very best in their academic and professional pursuits. Thank you once again and have a great evening.
And participants, kindly fill the feedback form sent in the WhatsApp group. Thank you.